What up, y'all? Welcome to the Dry Wipe Chronicles. This is your boy Rocky G Inks coming live from you in downtown Los Angeles at the gallery. I got my dog right here, Beez. This is another artist who I look up to, man. He's been my dog since the beginning. He's really helped me in my career, and I figured, what better way to have him on the podcast. He's out here right now guest spotting for the next week, so everything kind of aligned perfectly. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce my homie Tattoo Beez and take it from here, bro.
Word, yeah. I go by Tattoo Beez. You can find me on Instagram at tattoo_Beez, Beez. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's what you got.
So real quick, you guys, I really wanted, it was very important for me to involve Beez on this podcast. Recently, I had my homie Angelo actually on the podcast, and it was super fucking dope. He was somebody who actually inspired me along in my career in the beginning. And it was very important. It's kind of cool how it all lined up as far as like Angelo being the first guest artist and now Beez, because Angelo, he was there in the beginning as far as I'm not present, right? Or like physically, but as somebody who I looked up to as far as like, he showed me all the supplies I needed to get and stuff like that. And after I got into tattooing, this motherfucker was like a heavy inspiration on everything that I've done to this point in my career. I mean, he's helped me in ways that are unexplainable. So it was very important for me to have him on the podcast, guys, to show you guys there are people who inspire me too. I know I inspire people, which is super cool. Doing it in a way where I never thought I could. But this is somebody who has inspired me also. And if you can, tell them about yourself as far as like how you got into the tattoo game and, as far as how far you've gotten now, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the farthest I can think back would be like, I remember seeing like my stepdad and my older brother. They used to have this dude come over to the house and they would tattoo them and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he would let me keep the stencils, and I was like a little kid, and I was like, damn, this is so cool. He's like, yeah, man, we're going to tat a turkey, and we're going to eat it. And I was like, what? Yeah. And I was like, what? I was all a little kid, though. I was like, damn, that sounds sick. But, yeah, I mean, that was like kind of like my first introduction to it. And then later on down the line, I just got more into art and drawing, and then found out that my dad was a tattooer, too, back in the day. Yeah. I never met him, but I just, from the stories that I heard.
That's right, you did tell me
stuff,
about that. Yeah, that's right.
So he was a tattooer as well. So after hearing that too, that got me like more, that got me like more tuned in. I wanted to jump into it more,
Right.
So it was just kind of like a thought for a while, and I was just a kid just drawing, and tattooing really didn't catch up to me till way later.
Right.
That's kind of like my first introduction was seeing that, to come over to my house and stuff like that.
Were you always into lettering? Like, was lettering the base of what you wanted to do, or was it black and gray or color? Or, I
mean, because I used to do graffiti, So that was already lettering on its own, pretty much just like making your name, all the different types of styles and stuff like that, So that was already my introduction to lettering, but when I started tattooing, I didn't think like, I could do what I already know how to do.
Right.
I can do my lettering and stuff like that. I didn't know what's up, so I would just try to do everything I thought like I would see, pretty much like people doing roses or skulls or like just traditional stuff, like that. Right. So I jumped into it like that. I kind of even forgot about lettering, honestly. So like I just dove into tattooing.
Wait, you forgot about lettering?
Yeah.
And now you're
because it wasn't tattooing wise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just on some graph stuff, you know, like, and then when I started tattooing, I didn't think like, I could just use my skills I already know,
right,
put it into tattooing, So, yeah.
And that's crazy because now you're like this lettering god, kind of like.
Man, thanks, Doc.
Like it's crazy though. Like it's crazy because in the beginning you thought, I mean, I'm not going to apply lettering to this. I'm going to just apply black and gray or traditional or whatnot. And then now you look back, or from then, now looking forward, it's like, yeah, bro, you are considered like one of the best lettering, guys in the industry. And you've only been tattooing for how long?
I mean, I've been tattooing for a while, honestly.
For how long?
For 11 years.
That's a long time.
But I started like when I was in high school, you know.
Yeah.
But I never had like an apprenticeship or anybody guiding me, so I feel like that's why it took me so long. Like when I think of 11 years, it sounds long, yeah, but it sounds crazy long, you know. But realistically, like the whole time I was just trying to figure it out,
like just scratching people.
Yeah, I was just fucking shit up, fucking didn't know what I was doing, you know, like. It took a really, really long time to get to a point where I felt like I was actually doing something. And yeah, so I felt like realistic. I've been tattooing 11 years from the gate, but realistically, I would say like 5 years. Right.
It's like solid, like 5 solid years of actually,
like I've actually
tattooing.
Yeah, and I've been around the right people and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Now, how is that working out for you as far as like being around the right people? Because I know a lot of times I talk about it too. Like, I talk about that shit a lot, bro. Like, I'm like too passionate about that, right? I feel like it's kind of overbearing or annoying where like I always talk about how surrounding yourself around the right people is very important. So saying what you just said, the past, 5 years of actually tattooing, who were you around that kind of really thought to yourself like, damn, like I could take this shit serious? Or who were you around at that time to help you get better, or think to yourself like, damn, like I could be really good at this?
I mean, honestly, like I was at a few shops to start off with, but I was the only one doing lettering and like trying to push that, you know?
Oh, okay.
So like all the people around me, they weren't on that, so they kind of didn't really see it as seriously as I did, you know?
Oh, right. You can make a career off of lettering.
Yeah.
Which you have now, which is crazy. Yeah.
Right, it's for real. Yeah, but it was so like taboo to them. You know
of course.
So,
yeah.
So I feel like it even like rubbed off onto me to where like,
oh shit.
Yeah, it even kind of made me feel like, oh, what, like, all right,
maybe I can do this.
Yeah, and so like, just being around them, you know, and so, fuck, I gotta cut that part, but, I mean, so just being around different, going to a couple different shops and shit like that, you know, and then I would say the first person to actually really kind of like put me on game was my homie Manuel Flowers. Yeah, okay. He's at Next Level Studio, Tempe, Arizona.
Shout out Next Level Studio. Shout out Manny.
Yeah, because he's been in the game like a really long time, you know, and so like me just kind of like running through it, no clue what I'm doing, nothing, you know. And then I got there, he kind of like, he was the one that really showed me like the business side of it.
Oh shit.
And like taking it seriously, you know, and like how you treat your clients and stuff like that.
Customer service.
Yeah, customer service, environment, stuff like that, you know. So like being in his shop instantly, like it was crazy because I remember like when I first got the like interview there, it was like a tattoo interview, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh shit.
Like I had to do a tattoo to be able to work there.
Oh wow. Oh, an actual tattoo interview. Oh.
So he's like, you can come kick it for 3 days and like tattoo those days, and I'm gonna watch you, you know, and then at the end of it we'll
decide. Yeah.
So I remember like the first tattoo I did there, it was like a skull and some like lilies or whatever. And after I was done, I was like, yo, what the fuck? How did I do this shit? Like, dude, that shit came out like amazing to me, bro. Like, and it was crazy because I was like, damn, it was almost like I had that feeling in my head like that was meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
Like leading up to that, like I was put on the spot and I had to do a tattoo to prove if I was good enough to work there.
Yeah.
And I completely killed that shit.
That's good though, because you probably thought to yourself, this is a challenge. I have to surmount this challenge, because if I don't, then I'm not gonna be able to tattoo here.
Yeah, exactly. For real. Yeah.
Bro.
So like that got me in the gate there, you know, and then just being there and around them and learning from that, you know, and then that's where like my homie Paul works, my homie Paul Rax.
Shout out Paul Rax, goddammit.
If you haven't heard of Paul Rax, man, you guys are sleeping, bro.
Shout out Paul Rax, that's that man right there.
For real, tap in with him, bro. Yeah, he's sick with it. Shout out Paul for sure. And then that's where I linked up with him. But I met him before that, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, before I started working there, I met him. I was working at it was my first expo that I ever worked at. It was a body art expo. And I worked that Sunday. So the only day that I was able to go work was that Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So he was like walking around with his family, you know, and then he stopped by. And I had like little canvases and stuff like that I painted like some goth letters on and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yo, this is sick right here. And I was like, what? Hell yeah. I already know of him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he was like, man, these are sick. And I was like, well, hell yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's
and
dope.
he bought one off me.
Oh shit!
Yes, yeah, he showed love.
Oh, so he was like, yeah, he liked your work from the beginning, from the jump.
Mm-hmm. So like he copped one off me, and then I was like, damn, hell yeah, that's sick as fuck, you know, for like a heavy hitter to show me love like that, you know, and buy a piece of art off me.
Absolutely, it's like the most humbling experience ever.
Yeah. And then so it just worked out to where he was already working at that shop that I eventually started working at.
Oh, shit.
Next level, yeah. And so as soon as I got there, like,
so that's not a coincidence, but that was meant to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure,
So and up until that point, I felt like I was still trying to find my style. You know what I'm saying? I was still trying to find my lane that I was trying to go in, and I got to a point where I was getting like super frustrated, bro. Like where I was like, man, like I want to be good at something.
Yeah.
And I want to be different from everybody else.
Right.
I don't want to do everything. I don't want to do the same thing everybody's doing and just be another fish in a barrel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just got to a point where I was like, man, like I'm going to be dope at something, you know? Like I want to be dope. And so when I got there, he was already doing like lettering super tough, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Paul, he was like, he's the top dog in Arizona, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so just being there, he pushed me more to do it. He pushed me to like, hey, do lettering. Like
you could do lettering, do
it more. Let's fucking do this shit, you know. And so going there, working there, like that was it all, you know.
Dang. So pretty much Paul was able to open that door back for you because prior to that, you were like, damn, I don't know if I could do lettering. I don't know if I could make a living off of doing lettering because it was like taboo to be a tattoo artist and only be lettering. Because I think still to this day, like a lot of artists or a lot of people don't understand. People who are not known to art, they're like, oh, like there's a guy who specializes just in lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I think if you go on like let's say Instagram, a lot of people specialize in certain things like black and gray, color realism, hyper realism, traditional, whatever, right? But I think people still aren't aware that there is a lane for lettering. Like there's guys who do this shit for a living and who specialize in it, like the crispy lines and the freehand and all this stuff. And I think it's still, I don't think it's new, right? I don't think it's fair for me to say new, but I still think that people are unaware. Yeah. That there is like a category, man, like these lettering artists. There's lettering artists out there who specialize in this shit and who get down with it and they charge a certain amount of money. But a lot of people are like, why do they charge so much? It's just lettering. It's just 5 letters. It's like, dick, what the fuck? Like, all right, let me put 5 letters on your forehead and see how it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, how crispy is it going to be? So obviously Paul was able to tap back in with you and get you into that mindset where it was like, nah, hey dog, like let's run this shit, right? Let's run this lettering thing. Up, and isn't that how MVO started? Is that how it occurred? Like when you
pretty much, because that time that me and him were working together, you know, like we were just kind of plotting like type shit, like man, we should really like start a movement pretty much to where like people know what's up with lettering, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially Arizona, like Arizona really didn't have like nobody doing it like that, or
the lettering scene.
Yeah, at least it wasn't known. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we were like, man, like we're doing it. Like let's put it out there. Let's let people know that lettering is popping too. You know?
Yeah,
like,
fuck
that lettering is a shit too. So we were like, hell yeah, and fucking came up with the name. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Mi Vida Letras,
yeah, MVO, and then came up with the spot, and then it was like the one and only, the first and all lettering, everyone there customizing lettering in Arizona.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Yeah, so
that was a dope ass spot.
For sure, yeah.
I remember the first time I went there. So backstory, right? So for me, when I first started tattooing, like in 2021, I think early 2021. So before this was on nervous. Before this, man, let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you guys why he's specifically on this podcast, right? And I do talk about this a lot, where I talk very passionately about like following your dreams, like manifesting things, or if you really believe in yourself, like deep in your root, like in your heart, you can accomplish anything. I'm gonna give you a story, and I'm gonna prove to you that you can do that. So in 2021, when I remember this shit, I was at my old job. I used to run a company. And I remember I was on lunch and I had followed. Now, this is a long story, okay? So I had followed Beez like before he was like this guy he is now, right? Like, y'all motherfuckers are just getting on board right now. No, I'm just kidding. But I knew this fool like back like 3 years ago. He was like, He was still doing dope shit, but it was like super low key. You had like 5,000 followers. I remember this shit. Yeah, like he's like 5,000 or 6,000 followers. And I remember I followed him because I was like, damn, I want to get tattooed by this guy. And I hopped on his live one day, and he was live, and he was doing a tattoo, obviously. And I was like, damn, that shit's dope. And I remember writing in the group, in the live, I was like, damn, I want to get tattooed by this fool. I was like, fuck, this fool's in Arizona. I got to find a way out there, right? And that was it. That was the only conversation. I remember like, hey, what's up, bro? Your work is dope. And he was like, thanks, bro. And I was like, damn, that's cool. Like, this guy said, that's dope to me, you know? Like, wow, it's so cool right now. He had 5,000 followers, like the coolest thing ever, I thought. And fast forward, right? I quit that job. I became a tattoo artist, and I wanted to specialize in lettering. Now, I was like, damn, I look up to this fool, right? Like, damn, this fool puts out dope shit. And I always tell everybody, right, the people who you're surrounded by are very important, right? And when I came to the gallery, we didn't really have a lettering artist. So I thought, I'm going to use this shit as a platform. I'm going to use the gallery for what it is. A private penthouse studio? Fuck that. So I hit Beez up. I DM'd him, and I was like, hey, dog, like, I tattoo at this private penthouse. It's in downtown Los Angeles. You should pull up. And he hit me up. He goes, hell yeah, I want to pull up. And I thought immediately, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to get, if I can't go to Arizona, I'm going to be like, hey, if we should come here and guest spot. Because my intention was, right, if you want to learn from somebody as a tattoo artist, you either get tattooed by them or you find yourself around them to hang out with them. And if they want, they could give you like some game. So I thought, I need to bring this fool to DTLA. I need to get tatted by this fool. So that's what happened. Like, I think it was like May or June, you came to the gallery. And this shit was crazy, right? Because he came for like a weekend. He had like one, I remember this shit. He had one tattoo, and they flaked, right? Mind you guys, he had like 5,000 followers, right? He was still kind of like not known. Fast forward really quickly, this fool's like booked for like a week and a half right now. It's fucking crazy, right? He's like at 50,000 followers, right? To put it into perspective. But he came here, his only appointment book didn't come. So this fool ended up tattooing the homie Tony under his chin. Sure. And I've been waiting for a long time. And I was like, hey, fool, run my face. Like, put a tattoo on my face. Now, in hindsight, the tattoo was not supposed to be this large. It was supposed to be like this big. But he started drawing. I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna, you know, damn, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not gonna hold you back as far as like whatever you want to do. Like, make it as big as you want. And I remember when he tattooed this, I was like, fuck, like, hell yeah, I'm going to get tattooed by this fool. Like, it means a lot to me. I've been wanting to get tattooed by him for a while. Hell yeah. But obviously I couldn't watch him tattoo me, so then he tattooed Julius. And that was my opportunity to be like, fuck, I'm going to watch this fool tattoo him. And I sat here and watched him tattoo the whole time because I wanted to see how he was able to produce these really, really great tattoos, man. And that's the thing, right? I feel like the story is that I really wanted to be around him, learn how he tattooed, watch him tattoo, see his process, and I had to figure out a way to be around him. And that's what I did. I used the gallery as a platform to be, hey, dog, you should come to the gallery and tattoo. And this is somebody I watched tattoo on Instagram like almost a half a year prior, right? So when I say shit like that, like, hey, you guys got to put yourself in the position and be around people you want to learn from, that's what I mean, dude. And like 3 years later, like now we're hanging out, we're cool. Like he helps me, and we throw shit back as far as like ideas or whatever the case is, right? But stuff like that is cool, man, to look back on and think to myself, like, damn, like how we came about as far as being homies from the very beginning. And he was literally like floating under the radar, and now it's like it's really cool, man, as a homie to see him like blow up, because back in the day when he would come to the gallery, he would be try to book for 3 days. Now this was out here for like a week, tattooing every fucking day, bro. Like, how does that feel as far as like looking back from your talk about that from your first experience at the gallery to where you are now? Talk about that, bro. Like how much progression have you come through so far?
I mean, it was definitely like a game changer for sure, you know, because just like I felt like that was meant to happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was meant to come here and have one tattoo that flaked, you know, because it gave me a better opportunity to tattoo all the homies and be able to like flex with that, you know, and so it was cool for sure, you know, because each time I came back, I had more and more clients out here and more people started recognizing and shit, you know, so it was definitely a cool experience for sure. I feel like it was definitely meant to happen. Yeah,
because I remember after that, like, I remember when you came again like a couple months later, bro. Then you were booked for like 4 or 5 days, and then I remember this one like when reels just started popping, I think, and you were recording everything. I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're like, I'm recording a reel. I was like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, yeah, bro, you have to do this now. Like you're recording all these reels, and I remember like your shit was blowing up, bro. Like. Yeah. I was like, damn, this fool went from like 5K to like 10 to 50 to 20, like quick, bro, like rapid. And obviously, yeah, putting out content mattered, but it was like the work. Your work kept getting better and better and better, bro. And what do you think changed, if anything changed for you, but what do you think helped you with that, like as far as wanting to push the envelope and get better like that?
I mean, definitely I feel like the feedback helped a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, everybody's their own worst critic, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you could sit there and like judge the fuck out of something and somebody else be like, damn, that's so fucking sick. And that gives you like a little burst of like inspiration, you know? You feel good, definitely, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like putting out the work and then getting a lot of good feedback for it just made me want to go for it more, you know? And I was like, damn, that's sick, you know? Like people are really fucking with my shit. Like I could really do it, you know? Yeah. And so that really helped me a lot, you know? Like people showing love and the supporters and all that shit, you know? So definitely, for sure. And
do you feel like from your first experience with the gallery to now, or even just past 3 years, do you think that there was one tattoo you did that kind of like changed everything for you? Like, fuck, like, damn, this is badass. And you started to see your work progress even more?
Yours.
Oh, damn, that's cool.
The J right here?
Damn.
Because I felt like I just started to flex as hard as I could on that one, you know? Because I'm like, you know, like, that was my first time really meeting you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was.
And so, like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I felt like I was a little under pressure. Yeah. At the same time, like, they don't know me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to show out, you know? Yeah. And so.
Yeah, we didn't know you at all. Yeah, at all. I thought you were Mexican. This whole time, I thought he was Mexican. No, he's not. He's from Wyoming. No.
Iceland.
No, he's from Iceland. Hey, Jorge's here, fool. Hey. Sick. Hey, shout out to homie Jorge. De.la.arte. That's the homie right there. Dang.
Yeah, shout out to homie.
But, yeah, man, this whole time I thought he was fucking Mexican. I swear to God. And he pulled up and I was like, white guy with blue eyes.
Hell yeah.
Handsome ass full. All right, what's up? But yeah, it was a trip. But yeah, so yeah, we didn't know you, bro. So when you were pulling all that shit, I was like, and I remember that too, man. You spent hours on Tony's tattoo. He did under the chin. Was it a beautiful struggle?
Yeah.
And I was fucking blown away, bro. I remember that shit because you took so much time freehanding that and tattooing it. And it's so funny because people are like, oh, it's just a lettering tattoo. It shouldn't take that long. Bro, but when you were done, that shit was fucking crispy. Thanks, I was like...
Thank you, bro.
I was, and mind you guys, I'm like starting to be like, I'm a lettering guy, right? Lettering guy. Barely started. I haven't even freehanded at this point. And I was like, damn, this fool just shitted all over me. Like, I'm trying to be a lettering guy. What the fuck? But I knew my place, though. I was humble enough to know my place. Like, yo, I invited this fool here for a reason. Like, I want to learn from this guy. And, yeah, when I saw him do this tattoo underneath the homie's chin, that shit took you like 4 hours, but it came out super dope. And you wiped it away like 3 or 4 times, I remember. And I was like, at that moment, I never, ever experienced that in my life, bro. I've never experienced an artist who freehanded something and really took their time and was like, nah, I'm going to keep drawing it until I get it right. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, damn.
I feel like it has to be like that.
You know well, absolutely. Now, I mean, knowing what I know now, fuck, bro, I'll take like, if I tattoo Gio's bag, it'd take me like 2 hours to draw that motherfucker on. And that's what's crazy, bro. I've learned so much from you. Like, people, it's fucking funny. Like, I don't know where it's like this, it's like taboo. People think that I just did all this shit on my own. I'm like, nah, fool. Like, the homie Beez, like, he helped me out a lot.
Appreciate
you know, and that's the reason why he's on this podcast too, right? Because he is a heavy influence on like, he's been a heavy influence for me. Yeah, I remember when I would watch you tattoo, like I said, I never seen somebody take so much time doing something. Like Angel, we have a homie Angel here, homie Angel right here, new young homie,
Young blood.
You know, speaking of this, we went to Western Ave. Shout out to everybody at Western Avenue. My homie Jose, Gunner, all these fools are goo. There's a lot of people, Carly, a lot of people out there. But I was tattooing out there in Western Avenue, and I was doing a letter badge. That's trademarked, by the way. Letter badge, not. I was doing, motherfucker. I was doing an S on this fool Gabriel, and I remember I drew like I drew like 3 or 4 times, like an hour and a half just for a fucking letter on the wrist, But every time he got up, it was like turned, it was like twisted, it was too big, too small. It looked like when he stood up, it looked crooked, but when he sat down, it looked straight. And I was like, fuck it, erase it again, let's do it over, like 4 times, bro. And we finally got it right. And as I was tattooing, I remember Angel told me, he goes, damn, Rocky, like I've never, like you take so much time just doing one letter, like. You're taking all this time, just for one letter. And I thought, well, yeah, dog, what the fuck? Like, and that's because I seen Beez tattoo so much. And I'd be like, I would watch this fool tattoo and I'm like, damn, that's a lot of detail on one thing. But, you know, one thing I have picked up from you, dog, that I admire a lot is I always tell people too, to this day, like when I would watch you tattoo, from the very beginning of your tattoo, 8, 9, 10 hours later, because sometimes you tattoo for a long ass time. I'll be standing there, fucking, my knees be hurting.
I feel every hour of it too. You know what I'm saying? That's a construction job.
Yeah. And from the moment he starts that tattoo to 10 hours later, it's the same hand speed, fool. You still pull that line the same way. You still blend the same way, no matter how tired you are. And that's what changed everything for me. I was like, damn, like, this is why your work comes out the way it comes out, because you take so much time. So when Angel told me yesterday, or 2 days ago, like, damn, Rocky, you take your time with I never seen somebody take so much time doing a single letter. I thought, damn, I used to tell that shit to Beez. Like, so that was cool, bro. You know, like, you helped me in that way where it's like, no matter what it is, how big, how small, if it's only 1 letter, 10 letters, like, take your time no matter what, man. And that speaks volume on like your work, bro, because I've seen you do work in person, you know, and I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, have you always been that way? Have you always been like taking your time and stuff like that?
No, I mean, no, because I mean, you know, like, just the trials and tribulations, you know, that you go through, all the stuff that you experience along the way, you know, you kind of like, you get molded into like doing certain techniques or doing stuff a certain way, you know, because like, you know, because say you are doing a tattoo, right, and you do get tired, right, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna like do this part quicker, you know, maybe I'm getting tired, but you know in your head that that's not the right thing to do, you know what I'm saying, and you think about it a lot, you know, so like, I would think like that, like I'd be like, damn, I'm getting tired, you know, like, and sometimes I would be like, man, I think it's best if we just stop right now, because that's, you know, cool. if I'm this tired and I feel like I'm not gonna be able to achieve the same quality that we were doing in the beginning, I'd rather just stop right there, you know, because if I did go that extra, like if I did go and try to do it quicker, you would be able to tell.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, because all the time that you took, having the patience, taking your time, making sure everything's crispy, making sure you're doing everything right. And then when you get to the end, you're like super tired. So you're just, oh, I just want to get it done. You'll be able to tell that for sure.
Oh yeah, at the end.
And then you'll think about it too. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll feel that. Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't always like that, but you know, I wanted to be better and get better and be consistent. So that was just one of the things that I picked up along the way, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it wasn't always like that for sure. You know, I didn't do everything I'm doing now. For
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as far as freehanding, did you always freehand when you first started, or?
Nah. Hell no. Nah, bro. I remember like I remember I pulled out like back in the day. I remember I put out a marker one time and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try to freehand on this person. I'm gonna try it. Like, I'm not even gonna ask him." Hey, and so I pulled out the marker and the lady was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm about to draw on you." And she's like, "Hell no, you ain't."
Oh shit,
yeah,
nah.
Yeah,
fuck you,
bro.
bitch. Nah, dude. I bet you want him to draw on you now.
Yeah, so I was like,
Say, draw all over my body.
Yeah.
Draw all over me.
And I was like, "What? All right." Like,
Dang.
yeah, I was young, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
shot
didn't
you
know what I was
down,
doing.
dog.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so like, I was like, "Damn, all right, next time." You know, and so
Oh my god, I'm fucking dying.
and then so that kind of like stumped me for a little while, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
So I mean, I would do pieces, and then I would draw in the little background, or I would draw like a little add-ons and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So slowly
Yeah,
start
yeah.
implementing. Okay.
Yeah. So I would start off with little stuff, background,
yeah.
stuff here and there, and then eventually I got to where I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do the whole piece.
Do you remember this
Freehand.
piece? Do you remember this?
No.
You don't remember your first?
No,
Oh,
I
you
don't. I don't remember the actual like first piece that I fully freehanded. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now I think about it, I think I can actually remember. one.
There's no way, bro.
No, I think it was.
There's
I
no
wanna
way
say-
you don't remember the first one you did.
I want to say it was my homie Gordo, his ankle.
Oh,
I did,
Gordo,
yeah,
Mason.
I did a soy. Oh, nah, I actually do remember. Hey, all right, scratch that. I do remember what it was. It was my homie Mason, Gordo's brother. All right, I did like a misunderstood down the side of his leg, and I freehanded the whole thing, and it was big, and I remember at that time like Big Beez was a huge influence on me, you know.
Right.
So I remember I like bit the fuck out of the M that he did on the first of it, you know.
Shit.
Yeah, and so that was the first one that I actually remember fully freehanding. The first one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
on
was
Mason.
a whole side of the leg.
The homie
bro. Yeah.
Shout out the homie Mason,
Shout out
dog.
Mason, bro. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's
shout
the
out
homie
Mason.
right there. You got the big ass belly blast of the
Yeah, bro.
that self mastery shit.
Still working on it.
Still working on it. Still working
yeah.
on it. I heard. And that's funny. It's funny we talk about this because I remember the first time I freehanded, and it was like a couple days. It was like a couple months, I think, after you bounced. The first time I met you, a couple months after. I remember we started like texting each other and shit, and I remember hitting you up and say, "Hey, bro, like, I wanna freehand this tattoo, man, but I'm kind of nervous. Some." I said something along that way, and then you were like, "Don't be a bitch," and I was like, "All right." Straight up, yeah. You text me, you're like, "Rocky, don't be a bitch," and I was like, "All right, man, don't be a bitch, yeah, fuck you." And I was like, and we had just started like we were like cool, but we weren't like homies, and I was like, "All right, don't be a bitch, fool." And I went to the gallery that day, and I remember who I did it on. I did it on my cousin Anthony. Shout out Anthony. I tattooed a G on his chest, fool. Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, fool, I'm gonna freehand this shit." He goes, "All right, fool, whatever, dog." I think it was a free tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how I got away with doing it freehand. I'm pretty sure I put.
You didn't know what that meant?
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure I was like free tattoo, freehand or something like that. And yeah, it was a G on his chest. And I drew it. And I was like, "Damn, shit looks dope." And like, I mean, it's cool. Like looking back at it now, I'm like, it's cool. It's like it's cool little.
No, for the time, you know.
For the time, I was like, I'm Picasso. This is it. Like, you know,
This is the hardest shit.
this is the hardest. Yeah. And I was like, I was sweating, dog. I was like dripping, and it was like cold, fool. He was like, "Are you okay?" I'm good, dog. I'm good. Like, don't worry about me, fool. I'm just sweating, dog. Like, got the meat sweats, fool. You know, like, chill, fool. But it came out dope, and I remember that specific day, dog, because I was like, damn, like, if it wasn't for this fool Beez, like, telling me don't be a bitch, I would have never. Who knows? I would have probably never done it, you know, like, and that's what's crazy. Where I feel like sometimes we need to hear that, like, that hard love, like, "Hey, fool, don't be a bitch, fool, just do it." You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just crazy, bro. Ever since then, it's just been freehanding since, and like now I'll try to stencil, and it's just weird. I tried it actually recently. I tried to stencil, and I was like, no, I got frustrated because on the iPad you gotta be like super clean. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have time for this. I'd rather just do it on the person, you know. Now, another question is, do you ever feel like you're rushed when you freehand your clients when you're drawing this big back piece or the forearm or anything like that?
I mean, sometimes I do, you know, but I feel like it's me thinking like, oh, the customer's like been here for a long time already. You know?
Yeah.
They're probably getting really impatient. But that's why now I try to give my clients a little bit of insight, or like almost like a warning, you know what I'm saying? Before I start drawing, like, hey, like, you're probably gonna be standing for a while. I'm gonna be drawing on you.
Don't lock your knees.
Yeah.
Don't lock your knees.
You know what I mean? Breathe.
Breathe. Yeah.
So, like, I almost like let them know in advance, like, hey, you're gonna be standing for a little while.
Yeah.
You might be uncomfortable for a while, but you're not gonna be standing when I attach you, so you'll be all right.
Yeah,
you know
I appreciate this time because you can be laying like a dead body for like hours.
Yeah, so like I tell them that, you know, and they're like, oh, don't even trip, you know what I mean? Like, do whatever you do, you know?
Yeah.
So like now I try to do that, you know, so they're at least a little more aware. They don't think I'm just like, oh, you're bullshitting, doodling on them.
Drawing big ass these.
Yeah, so I try to at least give them a little heads up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, but a lot of the time is like they know how to process this before they even get there, you know? Because
Right.
I post me freehanding.
The freehanding, yeah.
I post like, hey, this shit took me 2 hours to draw on them. So at least like I feel like a lot of the people who come to me now, they at least already have some type of insight on what's gonna go on
what's gonna happen. Yeah. They look at your profile. They're probably like, all right, we know what's popping. Like, you know, we know what to expect. You know, and that's cool. And how is that for you? Like, do you get a lot of clients like giving you direction of what they want, or they just say, hey, dog, do whatever you want? This is, you know.
I mean, there's a few here and there every once in a while, you know, that will, but for the most part, like a lot of the people who get tattooed by me, they come to me for what I do.
Damn,
so they already like, you know what I mean? They're like, wait, whatever you do that, you know?
Damn.
But for me, I always like to be like, well, what type of style do you like at least? You know what I mean? Like, what are you, out of all the stuff you've seen seen me do, what are you more drawn towards? At least that way I know what you're looking for. Yeah. And then I can just run with that, you know? Right. So like, I'll do that, you know, still to where it's what they want, but at the same time, it's what
your artistic style too.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Now, since we both do lettering, and I think it's kind of cool. Maybe hopefully like a lot of lettering guys will probably watch this. Marcos is in the building. Damn. Hey, that boy cold. From shout out Marcos.
Shout out Marco.
Tattoos by Marcos 956. If you didn't know who he is, that motherfucker gets down. Bro, he's able to like, he does the negative style with like the shading on the inside sometimes, but that shit's clean.
Oh yeah.
That shit's
I'm gonna get tatted about it for a while.
Yeah, that shit's crispy, bro. You get down, my boy.
Yeah.
I tattooed the wrong font one I've tattooed the wrong font one time. Oh damn. After you drew it all this shit. Oh, Jazz is in the building.
What up?
Hey girl. Jazz is that's the homie.
That's my girl. Jasmine's my girl.
Jazz is his girl. Yeah. She in there. She in this bitch. So do you have what advice would you give to like somebody in the lettering game who wants to like start freehanding or get better at lettering? What kind of advice would you give them?
Definitely practice as much as you can, any chance you get. You know, definitely like pay attention to all the people that you look up to. Pay attention to the people that you know that work inspires you. Pay attention to what they're doing, how they do it, and stuff like that, because then you can take that stuff and implement it into your own stuff. So just practice as much as you can. Definitely ask a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? Try to, you know what I mean? Try to watch people tattoo. You know, pick up on tips and tricks and stuff like that. But for sure, draw. Any chance you get, any random you walking by, you see a paper, draw on that shit. Just any chance you get, just practice. You know. And as far as like freehanding, like if you want to get more into freehanding letters, you know, take some Sharpies, take your homie that you kick it with every day, draw on them. Like, hey, I wanna get better at doing forearm tattoos. So draw on your homie that you kick it with every day, draw on his arm every day, draw different styles on his arm. Figure it out, you know, because the more you practice, you're eventually just gonna get better at it. You know what I'm saying? So just drawing, bro. Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just draw as much as you can.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? Being able to practice every day, or practice like as far, especially to the style you want to do, like whether it's cursive, black lettering, Old English, like other styles like Gothic styles or whatever. I feel like that is important, like practicing and dialing in as far as like getting it to look exactly how you want it to look, but also creating your own style as far as adding serifs or flourishes and stuff like that, and you know, being able to body your own style. You know, another thing I wanted to talk about was you just opened up your own studio now too, right?
Yeah.
So tell everybody about that.
Yeah, I just opened up my own private studio. It's called Letter Realm Studio. Yeah, it's just me, and I have a couple guest spot stations and stuff like that for the homies to pull up and come work and stuff. So yeah.
And how was that? How was that opening up your own studio?
It was a lot, bro. Honestly, you know, like I was still working at you know, my homie shop at the same time that I was doing it. So it was just a lot, you know. I was doing pretty much majority of it all myself. Any little times that I had here and there, you know. But I enjoy it a lot, you know. I enjoy like being able to focus on my work, you know, and kind of zone out, shut my door, just zone out, focus on me, my client, what I'm doing,
right,
and just be there. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it was a lot. It was a crazy transition, you know. It took a lot to get used to, but you know, that's where I'm at right now, and I love it.
And so you said right now you're there by yourself. Do you like being there by yourself, or do you want more? Do you like to have more artists around, or do you feel more comfortable by yourself?
Nah, I mean, my homie Paul's been there, you know, for a little while until he gets his new location. So be tuned in. There's gonna be a new MVL coming soon, location coming soon. So he's been there for a while, you know, and that's one of my, like I said, that's one of my best friends, you know. So like, it was just natural, you know, having him there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's why I made my guest stations too, because even though I'm there by myself, I still want to have a chance for my homies to pull up, to be able to come kick it and tattoo and, you know, go back and forth, network, stuff like that. If people want to come out and guest spot, they can come out and guest spot, you know.
Right.
Even if I don't know you, you know what I'm saying? Like, hit me up, you know. We can network, we can work something out, you know.
For sure.
So,
and where's the studio located?
Mesa, Arizona. That's where
Arizona.
I was born. That's where I was raised. That's where I stay. So
they ain't trying to bang on these dudes?
Trying to make a clip now.
Trying to reel that.
That's a reel right there.
That's a reel right there. Damn, banging on the foods right now. Another thing I wanted to talk about was damn, I lost my train of thought. Talking about freehand lettering and stuff like that. Now, as far as damn, what was that? I was about to ask you a question. Damn, I really forgot what I was going to ask you.
It was so important too.
It was very important. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like know most of this already because obviously we talked, but I wanted everybody to know like some questions that they may want answered, or questions they have that want want answers or whatever. I really forgot what else I was going to ask you, but while we're on the topic, anyways, do you feel like as far as what do you like to tattoo more of? Like back pieces, chest pieces, legs, ribs? What is it that you like really like tattooing as far as like lettering goes?
I mean, I guess I would say any big area. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, I like doing it all. Like even if it's some small filler and you want to put some letters in there, I still like being able to have the challenge of like, all right, how am I gonna fit this lettering in that little area? I mean, but I definitely do enjoy doing bigger pieces a lot more. You know, like. For sure, legs, chest, backs for sure. You know, that's all day given.
Now, homegirl, Boyings, her tattoos, her shit go crazy.
Yeah. Shout out Chris.
Yeah, her shit goes crazy. So now, that whole thing with her back up to her neck to her head, did you have in mind what you wanted to do? Like, did you draw it all out, or did you kind of just started adding things here and there and just kind of using your mind and your vision to kind of come up with all this composition stuff? How did that happen?
Well, because they're two separate pieces.
Right.
You know, so like the top of the head is separate from the bottom. So I did the bottom first, you know, and I thought it was just going to be like that as is. So when she came back and she wanted to do the back of her head and the back of her neck, I was like, well, her shoulders, like her back is already dark. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It has a lot of bold lines, a lot of black in there. It's really bold and dark. So I wanted to do something that would be opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? So they could flow together. Since I have so much dark, I need to break it up by throwing some light in there. Yeah. So that's why I switched it up completely.
Oh,
I went complete negative with like a backdrop. You know what I'm saying? So they go hand in hand. Yeah. So you got the dark bottom. So you need some light to kind of break up, you know?
And is that how you look at all of your composition? Like trying to go with dark light and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like it's about the balance, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you have something over here, you need some over here to balance that side. So if there's a lot of dark going on in one area, you know, throw some light stuff next to it so it breaks it up, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not all completely all dark. It's not messy, you don't get lost in it.
And she's won she's won a lot of awards for you, bro. Yeah. Like I feel like she's always posting an award when she goes to a convention.
Yeah, dude.
Your shit's like strapped, bro. Every time you go, like, oh no, she just walked in, she's winning. She's winning an award.
I've done a lot of dope pieces on her, you know. So like,
bro.
She'll pull up to a show and she'll enter like 4 or 5 different things. Like she won't enter just her back, you know. So she'll enter like her hand, her.
That's right. Like, yeah,
I've done other stuff on her, like besides lettering.
The dog you did on her, that shit came out dope.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, like I done some realism on her, you know, so she could pull up to a show, you know, and enter all that stuff, you know.
Black and gray hand lettering.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful, you know, to come across her, you know, because there's not a lot of people who take the time out of their day to go enter.
Yeah, she does do that. She goes to like a lot of conventions.
Yeah. She's super supportive. Shout out, Chris. Appreciate you. Because it's really hard to come across people, you know, that you take all these hours and to work on a piece, you know, and you want to show it off, you know. So yeah, she takes the time out of her day to go enter for me, and go show love. And
yeah, I think that's super cool too, man. Because I feel like, you know, you show people that if you do dedicate, you know, your time into a craft like that with lettering, like you can do a lot with that, man. I feel like you definitely encouraged me too to be like, well, damn, you can create this lane of where like you could become very busy just off of lettering, you know. Because I remember when I first came to the gallery and I wanted to be the lettering guy. I've always been into lettering when I was young. I always did cursive. I would take people's backpacks and I would like strip them bare naked. I'll take the pouch off and I'll spray paint it. Then I would fucking draw on that bitch like a deco marker, like cursive or like black lettering. So I've always been into lettering. I would draw on my hand all the time. Or like my dad was like, would always draw like this super gangster ass writing. And my dad's penmanship is fucking crazy. You know John Hancock, right? Everybody knows John Hancock. Right, the signature? Yeah. My dad would fucking draw. He would write on these like pieces of paper, like a message, and I'd be like, "What the fuck, man? Like, where'd you learn this from, guy? Like, well, how did this happen?" And I always thought to myself, like, you know what? I mean, if he could do it, I could do it. This is my dad, you know what I mean? So like, it's got to be in the genes. So I would watch him do it, and I'd be like, I would try to imitate it. And for me, that's how it happened. Where it was like, fuck, dude, I want to be able to do this with tattooing. And that's kind of how, for me, it was like that when I first came to the gallery, and I was like, damn, like, can you just make a living off lettering? Because at the time, I had a homie, George. George was here too, and he did lettering, but he wasn't always booked for lettering. Yeah. But then when I started seeing that you being booked a lot for lettering, I was like, no, it's possible. You just got to put out dope ass work, bro. Like, so I was like, fuck, like if he could do it, I could do it. And that's kind of how it happened too, where it was like, all right, man, like I got to make it to where, you know, I could be able to tattoo a lot and focus a lot on lettering. Not maybe everything on lettering. I do some black and gray once in a while, but like to be able to focus on lettering a lot and watching you push the envelope and like you inspire me to be like, fuck, man, like you can do this. And there would be times where I would think, damn, this shit's dope. Like I'd post it, right? I'd be like, I fucking hate you sometimes. I do, bro. Cause I'll post something, I'm like, that shit hard body. And I'll scroll down, I'm like, man, fuck this guy. Cause he'll like fucking come up on my feet and I'll be like, oh my God, dude. Like, you're taking this away from me right now. But it's super cool because it motivates me, right? Like, and it's so funny because people, like I mentioned before, they'll ask me like, damn, Rocky, like, you know, like your work is dope and blah, blah, blah. And they'll call me like, oh, you're this lettering guy. And I'm like, nah, y'all tripping. Like, I have people who motivate me, you know, and I feel like the only reason why I feel my progression has gotten this far is because of the likes of like Beez. I have other homies who do like stuff too, like my homie Chato, he does lettering, obviously Beez. But the thing is that with this fool, he's so versatile. I'd be like, fuck, man, like he has so many different styles. Everything he does is dope. So for me, it was always like, damn, I can't be hanging out with this fool and putting out whack ass shit, right? So that's why I always felt like being around the right people, being around you, and everybody knows that we're homies and we kick it. I was like, fuck, dog, I cannot be putting out no whack ass shit. I was like, this ain't happening. Like, and let me tell you guys a story. So recently, once again, I'm bringing it up. I brought it up when I did Angelo's tattoo. I mean, when I was at Angelo's podcast, I recently did a tattoo on the apprentice Ian. I was talking to Gio about this. Gio, my dog. Gio_tattoo, motherfuckers. Make sure you go follow my boy. We got Mas Vida in here too. Mas Vida tattoos. Mas Vida. So real quick in the background, just so you guys know, we have a whole audience. It's like 1,000 people here. Not just kidding. Mas Vida. Oh damn. Mas Vida's tattoo, Gio_tattoos, and my boy Damien_angel. Yeah, and we got BLAZTED.NETWORK. Obviously, you know what time it is.
Yeah, you already
the light
know.
just turned off. I don't know that. Does that matter? Nah, right? All right, cool.
Still shining.
Damn, what was I saying? Fuck. Huh?
Talking about Ian, bro.
Oh, Ian. Yeah. I went way off track. Yeah, so I had did Ian's back, and I was really excited about this. It took us like 2.5 days, and I remember I FaceTime Beez. Now, mind you guys, like I don't like taking like I don't like false encouragement, right? Like I want it to be raw, and for the first. Dog, it took 3 years for the first time. I mean, I'm sure like he's probably mentioned to me, oh, Rocky, that came out dope. That came out cool. But it was never like, not that it wasn't genuine, but it was like, you know, him just being a good homie. But for the first time in 3 years, I had FaceTime this fool after I tattooed Ian. And I remember he was on the FaceTime. He was like, damn, fool, that shit's fucking dope. I swear to God, I didn't tell you this, but immediately I almost cried. I was like, damn. I almost did because I was like, holy, because I've never, ever seen you react like that from a tattoo I did. And I was like, oh shit, like this fool's like for real, like really genuine. Let's see. Well, let's see what you're stupid. Suavecita.
Oh,
That's the homegirl. That's the homegirl, Suavecita G. Suavecita.G. Yeah, I was like, damn, what the fuck? And he's like, damn, Rocky, they came out dope, bro. I was like, damn, thank you, fool. Like, I could tell it was genuine, and I hung up the phone, and I was like, I remember taking a couple of seconds to like stop and like really let it sink in. Like, damn, like, holy shit, that fool said my shit. And then you proceeded to text me later that night. Was like, bro, you really killed that shit, dog. And I was like, damn, all right,
bro.
Like, I'm gonna cry right now on my bed. Nah.
Yeah,
But it was cool. It was really, really dope, and that's what I'm saying. Like, seeing him produce so much dope ass work, and I was like, fuck, man, I want to be able to do that too. And you know, knowing that like we kick it and we're homies, it was like, fuck, you set this bar so high where it was like, you know, I want to put out work like my homies. So you always encourage me, dog, to put out work. Like, no matter if you think it's dope, like you can always do something better. Right. You know, like always, bro. And yeah, bro, you inspire me for sure, dog.
Appreciate
you know what I mean?
No,
like from the beginning, dog, to now, it was like it's fucking crazy, man. And like, and you continue to push the envelope, fool. Sometimes I'll watch you tattoo and I'll be like, what the fuck, dog? Like, how, fool? Like, you're still doing dope ass shit, bro. That one you did, damn, that shit was hard as fuck. You did, I think it was a chick's leg. It was like Mendoza established 1990 something.
It was like 1956 or
bro,
something.
1956?
I think that's what. Yeah.
56?
Yeah, it was like her grandpa or something. Yeah, I think that was for her grandpa.
Bro, that shit was fucking dope, thanks, dog.
Appreciate you, dog.
The whole fucking leg, I was like,
it wasn't a little leg too. It was
that shit was a big ass leg.
It was a bigger leg too. So
it was like a couple of sessions.
Bro, that was probably like 3.5 sessions for sure. No, like 4 sessions. 4 sessions. Yeah.
And how long did it take you to draw? You only drew only a little bit of it though, right? You didn't draw the whole thing, did you?
Because I started at the expo at the Villain Arts in Mesa.
Shit.
Yeah, I started there. So like, I drew the whole thing on, and then pretty much gray wash outlined the whole thing, and then just started working on it little by little, you know. And I didn't really get far at all the first day. You know, we were at the expo and
you drew it on.
Yeah, I drew it on there too. So the whole thing.
So it took you like 2 hours to draw, 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, it did take me. It took me like 2 hours to draw it on there. Yeah. And so, you know what I mean. That was I wanted to make sure that I got a really good head start to it, pretty much. You know. So yeah.
And now you touched on that earlier, gray wash. Do you want to share with everybody what kind of ink you use, or?
Yeah, I use for my blacks. I use a triple black dynamic. I've been using that for a while. And for my gray wash set, I use Big Sleeps. Yeah, Big Sleeps. The Ghost Line. Big Sleeps Ghost Line. And with the Blue Magic. I had Blue Magic in there too. Yeah.
That's it. That's all you guys get.
That's it. Sprinkle a little Blue Magic in there.
That's it. Just sprinkle a little bit. Like Salt Bay or something. And you've always used that drops that system? Triple black, Ghost Line, gray wash, and a little bit of Blue Magic?
Nah, so when I first started, I just used black, you know? Like I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know what I was doing or nothing. So I just used black for everything. I didn't even know how to use a mag for a really long time. Like I would just use a liner and shade everything with a liner and like try to get as smooth as I can.
Didn't you tell me one time you did a tattoo with a liner? You did. You told me you did like a whole
7-round liner.
Yes,
bro.
Yes, I remember.
I did a family on this chick's back, bro.
That's right.
And it was all solid black, and I used a
solid
7-round
black
liner.
with a 7-round liner.
7-round liner.
I hope you guys understand what that means.
Hey, but that shit came out crispy though. So
you packed in that shit with a 7-round liner.
Yeah,
how thick were the lines? Was it thicky thick?
No, the whole thing was solid black.
Oh yeah, shit!
Like, completely solid black. Like. I mean,
the actual letter.
Yeah, like the whole thing was just black.
Oh, what the fuck?
Filled in and everything.
With the 7-round.
Yup.
Damn, about that.
For real.
Taking like 8 hours.
Old school shit.
Fuck.
But I didn't know any better. Nobody would put me on game, you know? Like, I would just do everything how I thought it was done, you know? And obviously it wasn't, but you gotta.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And what type of machine do you use now?
I use the Bishop Power Wand Packer. I've been using that one for a while now.
Nice.
Yeah,
you like that one?
Hell yeah, I love it.
It's just cool.
Yeah, because before that I was using a Cheyenne Soul Nova.
Oh, I remember that. When you came in for the first time, you using that.
And it was a 3.5 stroke.
Oh, so softer.
Yeah, so it was a lot softer, you know. And then gradually, as I went on, and I would just be like, damn, I need something that hits harder, because like naturally I was just getting more efficient, like not trying to be faster, but just naturally.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I was like, damn, I need something that hits harder
to keep up with your hand speed or whatever. Yeah.
And then so my homie Angel's Tattoos put me on to that machine. To that backer. And so he was like, man, just get this one. It does everything. And I was like, all right, bet. And so I tried one out, and I was like, holy shit, this is a game changer. Like, it inspired me, honestly. Like, I used a new machine, and it did some different stuff, and I was like, dang, I want to push this as much as it can go, you know?
Hell yeah.
I really want to see what I could do with this machine. And so, yeah, I've been using that one ever since. I love it, you know? So
hell yeah, a new machine. I mean, and that's important too, right? Using the right machines, using the right supplies, like that shit definitely changes, you know, like as far as like pushing the boundaries and knowing what machine to use. It was actually crazy. So Valerie's here, and I remember when Valerie was tattooing she was tattooing a lettering piece. It's like one of her first tattoos here, and oh, that's right. So Valerie, so I be doing that. Don't come to the gallery on some bullshit. Nah, it's gonna be episode 2, my boy. Hey, don't be coming to the gallery on some bullshit. Like, just so you guys know, like, I fucking hell nah. If you're gonna do lettering here, like anybody who guest spots in the future, fuck that. If you're gonna do lettering here, you're gonna freehand that motherfucker. So Valerie, I was like, you gonna freehand that, right? She goes, yeah, sure, yeah. So she fucking freehanded this shit on this guy's ribs, and it said a Guzman, yeah. And she was packing it in with the shader. Shader's a 3.5 stroke. And I was watching her like, I was getting tattooed that day. Yeah, I was getting tattooed. And I was like, you should probably like try something like, you know, like a harder hitting machine. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, try this machine. Like it hits harder. And you tried it, and she was able to pack in the black so much faster And that's, you know, I think that's important, right? Being around people who could put you on game where it's like, hey, man, like, use this machine for this type of tattoo, right? Or this application, because that is it's a good reason. A 4.2 stroke from the Packer, I think it's a great machine overall, but especially in lettering, right? Because we do so much, like we pull a lot of lines, a lot of heavy saturation, the blending. And for a very long time, I was using a 3.5 stroke, the Bishop shader. And I remember like over and over, it would take me so long to do a tattoo, and then it would come back light. It would come back healed really light because the 3.5 stroke's so light. And then I remember thinking to myself, fuck, I need to try a Packer because it hits harder. And I tried the Packer at the expo in Vegas. Danny let me try it, and yeah, bro, it's a game changer for sure. That machine definitely was like, oh shit. And I feel like now, I mean, fuck, when we do back pieces, we run what, 4-9, we call them shovels, you know. We running them 4-9 mags in this motherfucker. Grave digging. We digging up bodies in this bitch, dog. You know what I mean? And yeah, trying to pack in a black with a fucking 3.5 stroke with a 4-9 mag, that shit ain't happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think for sure that machine definitely helped, at least my lettering, and obviously yours too.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Turn it up a notch for sure.
Yeah, dude. Like, and that's just dope. You know, having the right machine for that application, as far as like, you know, knowing what to do, what it's used for, I think it's pretty important, man. For sure.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got some people in here. I wonder if they have any questions. Somebody said, if you want, freehand lettering guest spot. I don't know. I mean, DM us. I don't know. If you want to do a guest spot, DM us. But another thing I want to talk about too is I think about a week ago, I talked about this earlier. About a week ago, Valerie was like, hey, I'm going to do this. She wanted help with lettering. And this is super cool. I want to talk about this as well, man. Like, when I first started tattooing, I would ask Beez questions. I would DM him. And I never thought he would DM me back, but he would. And he would answer these questions. I'm like, damn, bro, like, that's cool. Like, this was really helping me out. He doesn't have to, but he is. This is probably a little bit after we hung out the first time. But mind you, the first time we hung out, when he came to the gallery, we weren't really close like that. We would talk, but it wasn't really like that. And I would ask you questions, and you would respond, and you would answer. I'm like, damn, that's dope. And ever since then, fast forward 3 years later, I've always done that to where, like, damn, like, this fool was a helping hand in my career. He's helped me so, like, I could go on for hours about this shit, guys, but like, he really has helped me so much in my career. I am eternally grateful for that. You know what I mean, my boy? And so I try to give back. You know, I try to do my thing where I can give back and help people with their stuff. And I remember Valerie was like, hey, Rocky, I'm gonna do this tattoo, and it was like an F. It was an F, like a number, right? It was like F3. And she's like, hey, Rocky, can you come take a look at this? I'm like, yeah, for sure. So I sat down and I was like, yeah, do this, do that, change this, you know. And it's to me, it's super cool when somebody asks me for help, because I would ask Beez for help and he would help me. And I'm like, who am I to not give the same knowledge back, right? So that's what I would do. And she asked me for my help. And I said, great, yeah, you should do this. And I said, hey, are you going to freehand this? She's like, no, I'm going to stencil it. And I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean yeah, she's like, I'm gonna stencil it. I was like, no, the fuck you're not. I was like, hell no, you're not gonna stencil this shit. What the fuck? Like, if I'm here and I can help you, you're not gonna fucking stencil this. Like, you're gonna fucking draw this. She was like, all apprehensive. She's like, oh, okay. I was like, don't trip. Come downstairs and draw it or whatever. And you know, long story medium, she fucking freehanded it, and it came out super fucking dope, bro. And I bring that up because you change people's lives without even being here, because through me, right? You changed my life. I was able to change her life, and it's super cool how we're able to just keep this going like over and over and over. And I just took what you taught me and applied it to somebody else, man. And like, you know, Valerie could say thank you, Rocky, but it's really not thank Rocky, like it's thank Beez, because you know you helped me in the beginning too, bro. Like, so I think it's super dope that you are open to stuff like that, man. You're not really like, no, you can't see me do this, bro. Go away from me. You're like, nah, like we discussed earlier. For people, I think people are very scared to like share stuff with people because they themselves are like, no, I don't want to share this with you because you're gonna steal my client. It's like, dig.
Yeah.
It's like 1 billion people in the world. I even know the real I don't know the real number, but there's a lot of people. Like if I take your clients from you, dog, like the last thing you should be worried about maybe taking care of your own thing, you know. But yeah, man, that's super cool how you don't do that, you know.
I remember that's how people would do it to me, you know, like
you talked about that before, yeah.
Like I remember I was like on Instagram, like messaging like the people where I thought was dope, and was like, hey yo, like can I come watch you tattoo, you know, can I do this and that, and they would just push me to the side, you know. They wouldn't give me the time of day, you know.
Damn, that's crazy,
you know, like. But I mean,
that's crazy.
Everybody's, you know, people are busy and stuff like that. So I don't put it past people like that, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So like, I understand, you know, but at the same time, it's like there is a lot of people who won't go take the time to show you simple little things like they could really have a bigger outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
they could just show you a little thing. You know what I'm saying? And that little thing that they show you could really mean a lot and could really go far. You know. So like, I just felt like I didn't like that feeling of getting the cold shoulder, so I never wanted to do that. You know, like anytime I felt like people would hit me up for advice or tips or tricks like that, I would tell them what I do or tell them how I do it. You know, because if they can implement it into their own stuff and better their own work just from some advice, you know what I'm saying? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody's trying to reach the same goal as far as you want to be successful. Yeah, you want to be good at what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So if I could do the smallest little thing that will help you, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna. You know what I mean?
See, that's why I fuck with you, and that's why I do relate to you so much, bro. And I think that's why we do fuck with each other as far as like being homies and sharing these things, because I'm the same way, bro. Like, you know, the thing is that, like, if I were to like to die today, right? At least people could say like, oh yeah, that fool Rocky, like he showed me this, he showed me that. Instead of it being like, oh, that fool Rocky passed away, that fool's a dickhead. Anyways, I asked him a question, he didn't want to answer it. Yeah. You know, like I feel like for me, like, you know, I'd be okay with that. Like if something were to happen to me and I were to be deleted from this planet or whatever, like people would say good things about me, you know, and same thing with you, you know, vice versa. It's like, yeah, bro, like I think the whole like, no, you don't, I'm not gonna tell you shit. It's like, okay, well, I mean, what are you so insecure about? Yeah. Obviously, you don't have enough confidence in yourself and your work, you know. And I remember one thing that you taught me that now I'm teaching to people, which is crazy, is that, like you said, the smallest things were. I remember when I first started doing lettering, I would outline my lettering in black, a solid black line, guys. And I would pack that black, and I would still see that saturated black line. I remember Angel asked me this when I tattooed that guy's wrist. People ask me all the time, why do you outline? Why do you outline in your lightest tone? Because I remember before, I would outline it in black and then pack it in. But I remember I'm pretty sure you're the one who told me, like, well, Rocky, why would you outline it in black if you're going to just pack in black anyways? You're putting your client through more pain, but also you're going to see that black line after it heals or whatever the case is. And I started doing that, so I would notice that as soon as I was done tattooing, it looked like a fucking sticker. That's like the greatest compliment, I feel like. As a lettering artist, I don't know about it. Like, I mean, realism the same, but as a lettering artist, man, since we have these crispy ass lines and this dark saturation, when people are like, wow, that looks like a sticker, I'm like, mic drop, boom, job's done. Like, fuck yeah. And I think that's the coolest thing is making a tattoo look like a sticker. If you could create a fucking lettering tattoo and make it look like a sticker, job done for sure. You know what I mean? So this guy right here says, I have not tried to freehand on skin. I usually draw it on paper and then stencil on paper. Question for Beez. At what point did you start freehanding? And both of y'all freehand is the top of the chain. Oh, when did you start freehanding?
When did I start freehanding?
Yeah.
I mean, I tried a little bit early on, you know, but people shot me down. But, you know, so like, it wasn't until I linked up with my homie Paul, because he was freehanding everything.
Yeah.
He was freehanding everything. And I was like, that's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and then he was the one that really put it in my head, like, you draw on somebody, you're going to draw it to what the area is, you know what I'm saying? Which means you're going to draw it, and it's going to fit that area like perfect because you're drawing it straight to the
Yeah.
area. You know
Instead
what I'm
of like an iPad where it's
Yeah.
flat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to put the stencil on, and then you got to make adjustments. So if it's this or that, you know.
That's just annoying.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So-
Now thinking about.
So it's like if you go straight to that area with the marker, you can make it fit that area however you want it. You can take up that whole area. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like that's why I love freehanding.
Me
I love
too.
being able to take up that whole area.
I'd be snatching
know?
that motherfucker up, bro.
For real.
You want to do your back? Oh, we're taking up that whole
Like, how
top.
you're saying
back.
with your face. You say.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I thought it was gonna be this big.
Fuck.
But in my head, I was like, we can't make it that big because it's gonna look better if we do it like this.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
a J.
that's right. Yeah.
So the bottom of the J has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it behind the ear.
I remember that because I had long hair at the time, and these fools like shaving my hair, and I was like, "Whoa, fool! Like, what the fuck?" And then I remember, when he drew it on, I remember I wanted it to be a specific size. He was like, "Yeah, for sure, bro." And I didn't know him. I didn't really know him like that. And when I saw in the mirror, I was like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it, let's run it, bro." Like, I'm not gonna tell this fool no. Like, he has a vision for it, and it ended up being like this big ass J tattoo, and that shit came out hard as fuck, you know. But yeah, that is the thing, right? When you do freehand, you're able to take up the whole body, the whole section. You know, like when you do wrists to elbows, it's like when you print it on a piece of paper and you stencil it, it's like flat and it doesn't fit really fit the body or the arm, you know, like the way it should.
Yeah.
This guy, excuse me. Yeah, we do the same thing. I mean, I do it too. I'm pretty sure you do. He's talking about drawing it on a tablet and then freehanding it, right? Yeah, I mean, sometimes we do the same thing. Like, we'll draw it on the iPad first to get the vision out.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like the whole muscle memory thing.
Yeah,
you
the
know
whole rough
like,
draft. Yeah.
You draw it one time. You already kind of have an idea how you're gonna go about it when you really do it.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that's pretty cool because it's crazy in Sacramento. I had got hit up and I wanted to do a composition piece. And Beez kills composition. It's just crazy when you're able to put like 3 or 4 different fonts together. That's just mind blowing, dog. That's just some gangster shit. And I was in Sacramento. And I remember I drew this out. This guy wanted "Con Dios todo es posible." Yeah, posible. I don't know Spanish, fuck. And I was like, all right, fuck. Like I drew this shit out like a week before. And the day of, I hit this fool. I FaceTimed you, remember? And I was like, "Hey, fool, what do you think about this?" Like, and I'm sharing that with you guys to let you guys know, like, even though some of you may think I'm like really good at lettering, like there's always somebody I look up to. There's always more that I want to learn, right? So at that time, I hit this fool up. I was like, "Hey, this is what I drew, dog. Check it out." And I said, "Hey, what do you think? You think I should do anything different?" And he was able to help me out, And he said, "Hey, bro, try this, try that." And I was like, "All right, for sure, dog. Like, thank you." Because it was the first composition piece I've done in a very long time, and I wanted somebody who has experience with that to help me out with that. And it's very important, I think, for you guys out there to understand. Like, there's no ego in this, right? There's the main objective here in tattooing is to put out the best quality work of art, right? And I knew that I kind of stumped right here. Let me hit up my homie Beez. And even like I think I FaceTimed you again after. Remember how I wanted to put the N in front of the banner? Yeah. And that was something I thought I should do. And you're like, "Yeah, bro, that's a good idea." I'm like, "All right, cool." Like, and sometimes I'll do that. I'll ask for somebody's advice. Even though I may think it look dope, I'll be like, "Hey, fool, what do you think about this?" "Oh, no, that's dope." "All right, cool." Like, and that's to let you guys know there's nothing wrong with asking for advice. I don't know where it became like taboo to ask another artist for advice or ask somebody for advice and be like, "Oh, nah, I know everything. I don't need to ask for advice." Like, fuck that. I think the only way to keep growing, right, in this industry or as a person in general is to ask for advice and get advice from people whose advice you do take heavy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, and it came out dope. I haven't even got to show you yet, but it came out really dope. Bro, I was really happy about it. It was like some dope ass it was like 3 different fonts and like different styles and it was really cool, bro. I appreciate it for helping me for that. Bro.
Hell yeah. And I feel like just having a different look, you know what I'm saying? Because, because like you could draw something, and you'd be like, "All right, this is tight, What do you think? Some people may have a different perspective or a different
sure.
look on it, so they might be able to see something that you didn't see.
Yeah.
So like that helps too, you know.
Well, like, even earlier when I was tattooing homeboy, my homie, my client Josue, when I asked about the cry later, should I tuck it under the mask? And you were like, yeah, I think tuck it under the mask is better because the mask at the forefront, and that's cool too. That's why I enjoy when you're here, because when I am here by myself, I'm the only lettering guy, so it's really hard to be like, damn, you know, like, fuck, there's nobody else. Just that's why I'll FaceTime me sometimes. But like, when I'm the only guy here, it's like shit. So when you're here and I'm here, I'm like, all right, cool. I can ask for some advice from somebody else, you know. And that's just dope. That's just really important. I think, like I mentioned before, guys, like surrounding yourself with people who you look up to or people who does work similar to what you want to do is very crucial.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely, bro. There was another question in here. I didn't get to see. Last one with you. Somebody said, I'm trying to save up to get blasted by you on my stomach. Don't know how much to save.
Hell yeah.
I don't know who's
Sick ass stomach.
Yeah, I don't know who that's for, but just save up some money. Or just DM. I don't know who you're talking to specific, but just DM us or him or me. I don't know who it is, but just save us some money. What inspired both of y'all to get into lettering? How did the face tat feel? The face tat wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. It took like 7 hours? It took like 6-7 hours, huh?
I was there with him the whole time.
Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah, you know what's so crazy too? Speaking of that, I remember when he did Julius's face, bro. You were right here, and I was supposed to go to dinner that night at my aunt's house, and I was like, They were like, my dad was asking my sister, "Where's your brother?" And she was like, "He's at the gallery right now." And he's like, "Oh, is he working?" She's like, "Nah, he's watching Beez tattoo." And my dad's like, "Okay, well, then tell him to come." And it was super cool because my sister was like, "No, Dad, like, you don't understand. Like, he's at the shop right now because he's watching this guy tattoo who he looks up to." And I remember, bro, like, I fucking watched you the whole time because I was just like dialed in. And I remember I had hit the table one time like this on accident, and you're like, "Hey, fool, don't hit the table again." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh man, I'm in trouble." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, my fault, dog. We still homies or what? Like, I was like, "I'm sorry, fool. I'm sorry, dog." So how fast did you guys know you were good at tattooing? I don't think I. The fuck?
I still don't know.
I still don't know shit. I still don't know shit. That's a cool question, but I still don't know shit. Straight A's. Yeah, straight up.
I just see it as like growing every day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's no such thing as a cap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could learn every day. Every day you can grow.
I genuinely mean that shit too. People be asking me all the time, like, "Don't be doing that. Don't be saying that to me. Don't be calling me that." Because nah. Hell no. That expectation's too high. But I'm still learning, dog. Like,
for real.
Fuck no, bro.
So much more room to grow, you know?
Yeah, I'd be like, nah. I'd be thinking to myself like, nah, there's more. And it's so funny too, right? Because this may help some other people out there also. Like, even after I'm done tattooing, I'll like look at my shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, like, damn, that should have been crispier. Like, damn, that serif could have been sharper. Damn, that tone could have been smoother. Like, oh, damn, that mag drag could have been crispier too. Like, I look at that shit all the time, bro. And I feel like that's the reason why I think we do constantly try to get better. Because you're the same way I am. Like, I'll notice after you're done tattooing, I'll see you, like, zoom in on your tattoos. And I'm like, damn, I'll be doing the same shit.
Or I'll be like, fuck, I missed that hook.
I missed that,
Shit, I had a hook on this one.
Yup.
But like that's the good thing though, is because you'll take that time to go look at it.
I will, bro.
And be like, all right, now I know what to do next time.
I'll fucking dissect
or I'm
it.
I'm gonna tell this to come back so I can add that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and you know what was kind of cool too, man? We have Rich Rose is in here. What up, Rich? We just that podcast over there in front of your mural at Angelo's studio. Well, what was a really cool moment for me, bro, that I wanted to share. I don't know if I ever got to tell you, but we had this common client. His name is I'm gonna draw a blank. You know who he is? That fool that bought baby OG.
Oh yeah.
The Air Maxes. Well, I forgot.
Kyle, right? Is that his name?
Kyle?
His
name's Kyle. Fuck, I hope it's Kyle.
I think that's his name.
I think so.
Your name's Kyle now.
You're Kyle. I remember Kyle came and got tattooed by you after you did my leg.
Yeah.
The next day. Mm-hmm. That shit was crazy. Man, bro, remember that?
Yeah, dude, that was a long
Yo, we were in this
day,
motherfucker
bro.
for 13 hours.
For real.
13 hours for my leg. Mm-hmm. So my leg's the one that's pinned on his profile, bitch.
Yeah, you see the top.
The top. Nah, just kidding. So yeah, we were here for like 13 hours doing my leg, and I remember I told Beez, I said, hey, fool, I want to do my leg. And it says No Ordinary Love. It's my favorite song probably ever by Sade. Probably my favorite song ever. Probably ever and ever, yeah. But it says No Ordinary Love. I was like, hey, fool, let's run this No Ordinary Love on my leg. Do whatever you want. And this fool snapped. We were here for like, 13 hours. It took like 2 hours to draw that motherfucker on and like 11 hours to tattoo. How did I get tattooed for 11 hours? I have no fucking idea. Obviously, I really wanted the tattoo, but that shit fucking hurt. Anyways, fast forward the next day, Kyle, I think his name is Kyle Sanchez.
I'm pretty sure.
There's a picture of him like in a white shirt or like a white suit on his profile.
Yeah, that's
you. That's you.
Sure.
I don't know why I remember that, but yeah. So he came and got tattooed. This too shall pass. I think on his leg, and I remember. I wasn't tattooing that day, so Beez was tattooing on my station, and the whole time, like it was like 10 hours, bro. Wow. I watched this fool tattoo that, and that's what I'm saying. I'm always a student of the game. Like even to this day, like when he tattoos, if I'm on tattooing, I'll come and I'll fucking watch this guy tattoo. Like I will sit there and fucking watch him because there's something else I need to learn, right? But that day, I remember watching him tattoo Kyle. And I was like, just like, damn, this fool's the same thing as usual. Like just getting down, doing dope shit. And I remember Kyle was like, oh yeah, Rocky, I know you're letting artists too. That's dope. And that was it. Conversation over. I was like, oh, I guess fuck me, right? Like, but after, Beez tattooed him, whatever. Like 5 months later, Kyle hit me up. I was like, hey, Rocky, I want to get tattooed by you. And I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, fuck, that's dope. He was, I've collected from Beez, now I want to collect from you. And I was like, so for me, that was a cool turning point, bro. Like after all the work that I did and I taking my time to learn from you and like practice. When he came to the studio, it was super cool. He was like, Rocky, when I was getting tattooed by Beez, you watched for 9 hours while I got tattooed. And I've watched you tattoo every day since then, everything you post. And your work is fucking great, bro. Now I want to get tattooed by you. And I respected that a lot. Because I was that's cool, dog. Like, yeah. I don't want to tattoo you out of pity. Like, he waited, bro. Like, nah, all right, cool. All right, Rocky. Like, now you're not like on an echelon of like Beez, but like your work is dope, bro. Like, for somebody to want me to tattoo them after they've been tattooed by you, that's dope, bro.
I appreciate that too, bro.
You know what I mean? Like when he tattooed Eddie, that dope ass established 1995 on his leg. Remember that van? Yeah. Then I was able to tattoo that Hades on him and shit like that. That's just dope, bro. Like, and then seeing your work healed is like, damn, that's dope. And we actually wanna do like a collab on Jason. Jason said he wanted to.
For real. So y'all gonna see that real soon.
You want to get his stomach done. Mm-hmm. He wants slipping into darkness or some shit. Yeah. So that should be pretty dope.
Collab,
I think this fool client tapped out here. So Danny's in the building. Oh no, D-Tats LA. Shout out D-Tats LA. I mean D-Tats LA. Shout out my boy. I think this had a question. What do you guys look in a person to have as an apprentice? Ooh.
Drive.
Damn.
The will, the want to do something, to want to be better.
For sure. Yeah, I think definitely that. Fuck. To be an apprentice, I feel like, you better like work your fucking ass off, man. Like, I honestly, I'm pretty sure everybody's different. For sure, everybody's different. My views on apprenticeships could be looked at like, damn, Rocky, what the fuck? But everybody's different, You want to go about what you would do first as would you look for an apprentice, and I'll go over what I look for.
I mean, I definitely feel like you could tell who's really invested in and who's really not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like for instance, when you mentioned you sat here and you stared for 9 hours straight,
Yeah.
that was like that's an indication that you wanted to learn and get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that was like a big thing that I seen you do too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'd be tattooing right there, and you'd be right there the whole time.
I'd be
paying attention, like this and that. I'm like, damn, like you really want it. You know what I'm saying? Like you really want to do it. So it's like you'll really put that time, that effort, that grind to really move forward. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like you have to really like be motivated. You know, you really have to feel it in you to go for it. You know, and so
I think that's definitely important too, right? Tell Beez to take me as an apprentice. Oh, I don't know, dog. You're already asking the wrong question. How many hours of sleep do you get on average? Oh, you crazy. Now, as far as like apprenticeship, for me, it's kind of the same thing, you know, like just being able to like be dedicated to the craft, you know, like I feel like learning the fundamentals, you know, I pride myself on fundamentals, pulling lines, packing in black, blending, right? So being able to want to learn like kind of like the boring stuff, but being motivated enough to want to come in, even though it may not be the day you get a tattoo on fake skin or you're cleaning all fucking days to have a positive attitude. But I think mostly is being motivated and being driven, being dedicated, being consistent, you know, having a clear vision on what you want. You know, a lot of the times we'll like we have an apprentice now. We interviewed him before he got the apprenticeship, and I'll ask questions like that. You know, when I look for an apprentice, I'll have to interview them, and I'll ask them an array of questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is a successful artist in your eyes? What do you look to gain from me as an apprentice? You know, there's like a lot of questions that go into that, man. And I just feel like being able to sacrifice. I think that word's thrown around a lot, you know, like sacrifice. But I don't think people really understand the word sacrifice and what it means or what it entails. And being an apprentice for sure embodies that. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So being willing to sacrifice and being driven, being motivated for sure is at least something that I look for in apprenticeships. This guy asked another question. I don't know where he's at, but facts. See, watch my mentor tag. But there's also a thing too, right? I was talking about it earlier. I feel like you can have the wrong mentor. And so earlier I was talking about how I feel some apprentices out there, just because you're in an apprenticeship and you have a mentor doesn't mean it's the right mentor. Right, guys? Like, I don't know if Beez could speak on that. I have an apprenticeship. I didn't. Did you have an apprenticeship?
Yeah, I never did one.
Yeah, so.
But I did witness a lot.
But yeah, right. Yeah, so witnessing, right? And I have witnessed a lot too, right? And I just feel like, just know, guys, like, you know, you can have a bad mentor. You know, I think for any apprentice out there to know if you have a bad mentor, I mean, you just got to look at the facts here. Like, you know, are they setting good examples? You know, I touched on this, I think it was yesterday or something. I went live and somebody asked me a question, and I want to be very transparent about this, man. You know, as far as the way I see it now, the way I see it is not right or wrong. My opinion is, once again, insignificant. I say that a lot, but this is just my opinion. You know, I feel like if you're going to be a mentor to somebody, you better have your fucking shit straight. You know, you better have a solid head on your shoulders, man. Like, don't be, you know, don't be at the studio trying to rush a tattoo to get out, to go fucking have drinks with your friends and your buddies and or go to these clubs or do all this shit, you know, stay doing drugs or whatever the case is, man. Like, I think a lot of mentors out there are irresponsible, right? I think they're confused, bro. Like,
yeah, they use it to their advantage.
They do, and I don't think they understand that a mentor is a leader, not a boss. Like, a lot of people get this confused. They think, oh, I'm a mentor, and like first thing they think of is the 4-letter word, the boss word. Like,
control you.
Yeah, I control you.
Yeah.
You do what I say. Like, That's not what a fucking mentor is, man. A mentor is somebody who leads people, man. You're supposed to guide them, show them the right and the wrong. Like, you know, if a young artist comes to this industry, let's say at 19 years old, and you're his mentor and you're smoking weed all day, or let's say you're at a walking shop and you're drinking and you're tattooing, that fucking 19-year-old kid thinks that's the life. This is what you're supposed to do. Like, oh my God, being an artist is cool. Like, yeah, you smoke, you drink, and you do this shit, you party all the time. Well, that's not what it's about, man. And I think a lot of apprentices are going through that, where you guys need to figure out, like, you guys need to find yourself a suitable mentor. You know, find somebody who's a fucking role model, not a fucking loser. And that sounds bad to say, and people may have like something to say about that, but I don't give a fuck. Like, if that's the type of mentor you have, then that person's a fucking loser. You know what I mean, guys? Like, have somebody with a strong head on their shoulders who's gonna show you the right, the wrong way. You know, somebody who's gonna say, "Hey, don't do that. You're doing it wrong," and then walk away. No, make sure that person's gonna say, "Hey, you know what? You're doing it incorrectly. Let me show you how to do it, so therefore you don't make that mistake again." That's the difference between a boss and a leader, guys. Right?
Sure.
So, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and I've witnessed that, like, even at a different studio. Like, I've only tattooed at the gallery, but like at other studios I've been to, where it's like, damn, bro, like, that's crazy. How you gonna like treat that your apprentice like that, you know? Or when I would go out and I would hear like other artists talk about their apprentices, and I'm like, well, what the fuck, fool? Like, what kind of example are you setting for your apprentice? So, you know, for any apprentice out there, if you guys are experiencing something like that similar, maybe you might want to check who your mentor is, man. You know, because I know if I was somebody's mentor, that's what I would want to do. You know, be like a better role model. This guy asks, "Can we see the portrait Beez just got? You have a portrait?"
No.
It's about Paul Rax. I think it's about Paul Rax. Paul Rax just got a portrait. Speak about apprenticeships. I just heard this crap. Oh, no, not you. What advice you guys got on expanding? What advice do you have expanding on your creativity?
What advice do I have?
What advice do you have on expanding your creativity?
Expanding your creativity. Try it all.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Try to think outside the box. Try to approach something and be like, all right, let me see if I can approach it a different way. Something like that. I don't know. That was a hard one, but.
Was there anything else you want to talk about, bro? Like, I mean, you know, as far as maybe you want to share with people that don't know about you, or, I mean, you just had a baby, right?
Yeah. I just had a son. He's actually 10 months today, actually. Yeah,
10 months?
Yeah, for sure. Changed my life, for sure.
So we got baby OG, right? 10 months old. Mm-hmm. He was born a day before my birthday.
April
1st. How's that going? How's being a dad going?
It's great, bro. Like, I mean, it definitely took like a lot of adjusting, and you know, I never had. It was my first kid, you know, so like, it was a lot, you know. It was really hard, and especially juggling like a full-time job, a full-time career, especially like, you know, still trying to put in those hours, still trying to get better tattooing at the same time. You know, I'm trying to raise a kid and be there, you know, and be a good dad and be, you know, a good boyfriend, a good family, you know. And so, you know, it was a lot, but I love every bit of it, you know, because
that's cool. I
see the bigger picture. I see the greater purpose of it, you know, like I'm raising someone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm teaching
bro.
someone.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, it's the best feeling in the world, honestly, you know, like it's crazy.
So I want to, I've already asked you this, but so everybody else can know, because I love asking this question. Like when my homies have like kids, I always ask them all the same question, because I'm so envious. But when you got to hold OG for the first time, how did that feel? Explain that.
Gosh, the feeling was unreal, honestly. Like, it felt fake. Like, I was like, man, is this
That's
real?
Cool. Alfonso, you probably relate to that.
Dude, it was like the crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, even still to this day, I'll like walk in, I'll be like, trip out on this fool. Like, what? This was crazy. Like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Because then.
Just wait until he gets older.
Yeah.
Once he's like a teen,
You're like, the other day I had you
Yeah. I know when I showed you that picture of you holding him for the first time on the phone, you were like, damn.
Yeah, bro. For real, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like, time flies, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's cool,
it's
bro.
crazy, but it's, you know, through all the hard stuff you go through, you know? Just, it's part of it, you know? You just
So
gotta
being a
love it,
dad's
yeah.
probably the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, for sure. Being a dad, you know, because I come from not having a dad, you know?
Yeah.
I come from my mom raising 5 boys by herself, you know? Like,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So, like, I think that's what makes me feel different about it, too, is because I could raise my son. I can be there for my kid like how my dad wasn't there for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never had a dad. I didn't have that role model. I didn't have nobody to show me what's up. So it's like now I have a son and I can be there for him and I can, you know, teach him stuff. And, you know, it's just like the craziest feeling ever, for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, man. I mean, like, being a father probably seems like the coolest gig in the world, you know?
It is, bro.
It's really, every time I always ask people, like I'll ask my homies, like, "Hey, bro, how was it the first time you held your child?" And then they're like, they say the same thing, unspeakable, bro. Like they can't explain it. You know, yeah, I bet.
Like, this is a life
yeah, bro.
This is a life you created, bro.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
You know, like, and they're gonna grow up to, you know, like how you grew up. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
fucking
you were a
cool,
baby too,
man.
I was that fool at one point. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's so fucking rad, dude. I always ask all my friends. I'm like, damn, I'm so jealous. I mean, I don't want to have a kid right now. Don't get me wrong, but I mean,
it's crazy. You know, it will throw a dent in what you're doing. But
for sure,
I love it.
But I would imagine though, like, you know, I know a lot of people. I'm especially assuming you, like, having a child, man. It's like nothing is about you anymore. And we talked about this before on the phone. You know, like, I mean, fuck. If I had a kid, I think I'm working hard now, which I'm not. I can only imagine if I had a child right now, I'd be in fucking overdrive.
For real.
That's probably why you work so hard, right? Because you know you have baby OG, you have Jasmine now, like you have a family, and you gotta work for what's yours, bro.
Sure.
You know, like,
because there's people depending on you.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
like,
exactly, bro.
You're that superhero to them. You know
Hell
what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're that role model. You're that person they look up to. So it's different. You know, it's definitely like you're not living for yourself no more.
Right.
For sure. Like I don't think about myself anymore like that. I always think like, damn, my son.
My son, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My son would think it's tight, like everything.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's cool.
I was just
bro.
thinking about him first. You know.
Yeah,
I have a question. Once your son's getting ready to get tattooed, are you gonna tattoo him?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's gonna be sick too. You know?
Put a big ass B on his forehead.
I ain't gonna let him get no bullshit.
I mean, he's already your treacherous twin. Got the man,
For
that
real.
kid, bro. That fool looks just like you. Sorry, Jazz. Sorry. But dang, bro, he looks just like you. That shit is crazy. Man, that shit's dope. You guys have any questions?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I think it was great. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I felt like that's what helped me through a lot. Was being able to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? I was just stuck on my book, drawing, you know, and being creative and stuff like that. It kept me from being outside, from doing a lot of bad stuff, from, you know, bullshitting around. You know, it kept me from a lot of that. So, I mean, that'd be definitely cool. That'd be super cool. You know, if my son wanna, and then especially like I'll be able to guide him. So then, therefore, he won't be able to go through all the bullshit that I had to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could skip all that shit because I'll be like, nah, I did that. You don't want to do that because I did that shit and it didn't work out, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. So, it's cool. Like, as far as, like, because it's not just you anymore, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure they're situated and they're good before you can go do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, before I have to work, like, I gotta make sure he's straight. I gotta make sure he's fed. I gotta make sure he has a clean diaper. You make sure he's happy before I can go do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because then I won't be able to do that if knowing that my son's not taken care of before I take care of myself. You know. So as far as that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make sure they're situated before you are. So that's what as far as that, like, not really in a bad way, but as far as like you have another priority. Definitely my outlook on everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care about not like myself, not like that, but as far as like, I don't give a shit about like what people think about me. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit about like all I care is about what my son thinks. You know what I'm saying? Or like how he's gonna look at me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I pay attention. Like I'm not really worried about going out and being out late, you know, or kicking it, doing like shit that doesn't really matter, you know. Like now when I think about it, I think about like if I'm gonna go out every day, I'm gonna do something that's gonna better me, that's gonna better my family, that's gonna make me get ahead. Therefore, my son has a better situation to grow up in. You know what I'm saying? I think about it like that. But before, I'll go outside and hang out till 6 in the morning and be like, oh, dang, crazy, and then go back to work tomorrow, you know? Like, now I don't think like that. Now I'm like, dang, I'm staying out too late. Like, what is my son doing? Like, is he good? You know what I'm saying? Or like, so like that, you know? So, yeah, for sure.
That's the transition from being a boy to a man, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the transition, dog. Like, you know, we speak on that. Like, yeah, I mean, you're responsible for another human being now, and you're not a boy anymore. You're like, not that you were a boy, you know, but now you're just like, fuck, you gotta be a man. Like, and that's what a man does. A man provides, you know. Do you have a question, Val? It's okay. Who? It's okay. Oh, that's a good question. Dang, this is a good podcast. Hey, see, so that's I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. Because you said it's not different, but so right there, that hesitation. And I try to explain. I don't know how you go about it, but yeah, there's people out there who be like, "Well, it's just 4 letters. Like, why is it this much?" I'm like, "Look, dog. Like, at the end of the day, it's not just 4 letters to me. It's still art. You know, like." And I think talking about earlier, right, when we discussed the whole like lettering being its own category, you know, and people charging XXX for lettering. That's where I put my foot down. Like, I don't like to separate lettering from black and gray. Like, I think the degree of difficulty is the same. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people who really fucking know, like, yes, realism, do not get me wrong. Realism is fucking hard, right? Because you need the reference, you need to do all these things, you need your stencil. Yes, it is hard, right? I'm not going to say realism isn't hard. But, I mean, have you tried freehanding a fucking back piece and then making sure it's straight, making sure all the letters are straight, making sure they're all the same thickness, making sure it flows, and then on top of that, packing in all the black, pulling the lines, making sure the blends are smooth. So, yeah, I hate it when people do that, where they try to speak about lettering in a condescending manner. Like, what the
if it's not as important.
Like if it's not as important as realism. It's like, fuck you.
Well, that's the thing too. That's why when me and Paul were like linking up and stuff, we were like, man, like, let's show people that even though it's one name, right? One name, Rocky. Let's just use your for instance, right? One name, Rocky, right? It's just a name. But I can make that name stretch across your whole leg, throw flourishes, throw some background, throw all these details, and it'll look like that big realism piece that you have on the side of your leg, but it's just a name. Yeah. So it's like, I wanted to be able to like show people that even though it's just a name, you can flex and go hard on that stuff, and it'll end up turning out like, you know?
Yeah, because I have some lettering on my forearm that says, "Without struggle, there is no progress." That shit is whack. Yeah, that shit is whack as fuck, like straight from a printer. And I think that's the difference, Val. Like, people expect like, oh, it's just lettering. It's just going to be this simple lettering, and I'm going to take it from a defont.com or whatever the case is and stencil it. When it's like, nah, like, this is specifically geared towards your body, towards whatever body part we're putting it on. And but to answer your question, which we haven't answered yet, as far as going about raising prices, man, I just call it how I see it. I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna charge this much, and this is what I'm gonna charge. And the way I do it, like I do it a certain way, because if people don't want to pay for what I'm asking, that's fine. Like, I'm sure you could find another guy out there. You could find another lettering guy out there, and they could tattoo it, and it may come out great. It may not. That's fine. But I just honestly, Val, I think it's about believing in yourself. Like, you know how much you're worth. You know, like, every artist deep down inside, they know how they're pretty conscious of how much they're worth, right? Now, I don't go based off other people. I don't go off of that because you know why? Because there's only one Rocky. There's only one Beez. There's only one of you guys, right? So all these little extra things you do, these little flourishes or ascenders, serifs, you know, all this stuff, that's geared towards you as a person. And you have a lot to offer. Like when people come to the gallery or when they go to the letter realm and you provide this extreme service and you give like people a good environment or whatever. There's only one of you who can do that, you know. And I feel like when you provide a service like that, they're paying not only for the tattoo but also the service. Like, oh damn, like I went to that place and it was super cool. She was super nice. We did this, we did that, and the tattoo came out dope, you know. So I feel like raising your price or judging your lettering off of prices also matters about the service you're providing, you know. But yeah, I feel like you know how much your lettering is worth. I guess another way too is to gauge, like maybe if you were to ask Beez how much he charges or how much I charge, you kind of gauge off that. But essentially, you know, you have an idea. You're pretty conscious of like how much you should charge. But I don't let that affect like, oh, this guy charges for this much for black and gray. Nah, like fuck that. Like I'm gonna charge what I believe I charge. Like whatever a half day is, whatever a full day is, this is what my full day rate is. And you'll get discouraged a lot because people will say, like, oh my god, like I had this guy is like, oh my god, it's 2 sessions for you to tattoo my back. Why? I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna explain this to you. I'm not like, because you can't see on my page, right? And that's why I did Gio's tattoo, right? When I did Gio's tattoo, obviously he's a homie, I did it for free, but I wanted people to see the tattoo on my page and to say, this is what a healed back tattoo looks like. So when people hit me up, I want to get my back done. All right, great. It'll be back to back. Well, why? And I'll just simply send them Gio's picture. This is why. One pass healed. Oh, okay, that's cool. Let's do it. You know what I mean? So maybe if you were to do a tattoo and you became really happy with it, you could post that tattoo. And when somebody asks you, hey, this is how much I charge. Well, why do you charge so much? Oh, because this is the work. This is how it comes out. Like, cool if you like it. Cool if not, then, you know. So, like, I'm pretty sure the same thing for him, right? I think once you have a lot of content to show, if someone hits his foot up and says, I want my back done, and he says, oh, that's about 2 sessions. Okay. They're not going to say no because he has the body of work to show for that. You know, so I think when you have the body of work to show, that's when you could justify how much your pricing is. Definitely, you know what I mean? Because when you post like $1,500 full day session, I'm like, that sounds about right. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, sounds about right, guys. You know, so I think, like I said, when you have the body of work, you know, would you think the same thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like how you're saying how it's like what you're providing as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like you provide like a shit service and then you be like, oh, I'm gonna charge you $2,000 because I seen this other person charge you $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're providing them. You know, so where they feel comfortable paying that for your work. You know, or for the experience. Because at the end of the day, the whole thing's an experience, not just the tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Not just the tattoo. The environment, you know, the person that's tattooing you, everything matters, you know. And so, I definitely feel like it's where you're at, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like when you start off tattooing, you started charging what you do now. No, you have to work your way up. As far as like a person getting a raise in a job, you work harder, you put in more work, you get paid more, you know. So it's kind of like the same thing. You put the time in, you put the effort in, you put that work in. You get results, therefore you can run with the results that you get. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? It's levels, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but exactly that. And I say, like, once again, don't ever get discouraged. Like, don't let somebody tell you, like, you shouldn't charge as much. Like, no, if you believe that, you know, like, for example, when I first started, like, raising my prices, people were like, damn, bro, that's how much you charge? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's how much I do charge. You know why? Because when I fucking tattoo, I take my time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, especially after when Angel made the comment when I was tattooing that one letter on Gabrielle, I was like, damn, you know what? It has been like 3 or 4 hours. I'm still tattooing this one letter, but that's because I care so much. Like, if there's black, believe me, I'm gonna pack that motherfucker in there. Like, it's gonna be black. You know, if there's a line that's in there that needs to be crispy, I'm gonna crisp up that line. So I feel like, you know, when you believe in your work like that and you have to show for it, you can charge as much. And if people don't like it, then that's fine. Everybody has an opinion. You know, so whatever you feel like you should charge, Val, I think you should do that. And if you want to start doing more lettering, maybe charge a little bit less for now. Because I remember I used to do, I mean, I'm sure the same thing with him. Like, I used to do fucking 4. Man, when I first started tattooing, I was doing 4 arm pieces for like $150. Wrist to elbow, bro.
Bro, I did a 2-day full chest session for $100.
Yeah, we'll see there. Yeah,
I thought that shit was a lot of money.
You know, like, yeah. So, you know, it takes time. Like, I'm sure it took a long time for him to build his price and his clientele. And
that's the thing. Too,
yeah,
you know, it's like they see you where you're at right now,
bro.
And they're like, why do you charge that much? You know what I'm saying? But they're like, they weren't there for that 8 years, that 10 years before up to that point.
Yeah.
To where, like, I've been doing this for this long, and I finally got to a point where I can charge what I charge, where I can do what I do because I put in the work to get to that point. I didn't just wake up one day and be like, oh shit, I'm bugging good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, all that work you put in up to that point matters. That all, you know, comes to play as far as when you start charging what you're charging.
And I think, you really, like, made a good point there because, I think people just assume, like, oh, this guy, all of a sudden he's here, and he's charging this much. Like, nah, dude, like, there was a point in time where I was tattooing, like I said, for super cheap. Like, doing wrist to elbows for like $150, doing knee to ankle for like $200, doing back pieces for like $250. You know, when I first started tattooing, and like now I started raising my prices, and it's like, well, dog, like, why should I be penalized for charging more when my work is getting better? Like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Like,
exactly.
How is that, like, you know, how is that plausible? Like, oh, no, you're going to charge less because your work's getting better. Like, and there's a lot of other lettering artists that I know, like, personally, and I know how much they charge, and they've been tattooing longer than I have, and I still think, okay, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's fine. You guys can keep charging that. I'm going to charge just because I know what I'm doing in my work. Not that they don't know what they're doing, but, like, I know that I'm paying attention to these super small details that person may not be paying attention to. You know, like
the effort that you're
the
putting,
effort.
You know,
I know the effort, bro. Like, you know, I'm sitting here trying to, you know, round off this line and make it super crispy with this 3-round liner over and over, like trying to get closer and closer. But that's because I know the effort I'm putting into it. You know, I think, like I said, we're all conscious enough to know, like, the effort we're putting into our tattoos. And if you feel like you're not charging a certain amount, well, maybe because you know that you're not worth that. Maybe you really know that you're not charging this much because your work isn't worth that because you're not putting in that work. But when you are confidently tattooing and you're putting your fucking all into it, then you understand, like, no, I deserve more. Like, even though you love tattooing and you love the art, you still want to get paid for the art. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's important, you know, being confident enough to know, like, nah, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know I'm putting in the work. I know I'm paying attention to these small details, and I want to get rewarded for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%, Gio. Like, yeah, I think proving it to yourself is important. Like, damn, I can do this. Like, you know, I really can, you know, pack this black or blend this tone or pull this line or whatever the case is. And once you start believing in it, like, you know what, nah, I am worth this much.
Because it's like believing in yourself before believing at what other people think
Bro,
about
that's
you.
that's like the ultimate thing. That's like the superpower right there. I feel like people don't do that enough. You know, I feel like I talk about that a lot too, like believing in yourself. You know, if you're waiting for somebody to tell you, like, oh my God, I believe in you, like, you're going to be waiting all fucking day, like all year. Like, nobody's going to come up to you like, Rocky, I believe in you. Like, no, nobody's gonna do that.
They're gonna want to see it first. Then
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Yeah, like that's another thing too. I want to talk about like confidence. You know, I had this guy yesterday coming to. I'm not gonna say his name. Oh man, motherfucker. I had this guy coming to my live yesterday. I was like, damn, this was cocky, and I was like, what the fuck? Like what? And I was like, what the fuck, man? Because I was talking about like. On a whole separate podcast, we're gonna talk about this on a whole separate podcast, like my own like solo podcast. But it was about like my timeliness on appointments. Like we can go to a whole nother thing about that shit. But he was like, "Oh, this was cocky. He reached 50,000 followers." Blah blah. I was like, "Bro, shut the fuck up, dog." Like I'm the same person I was 3 years ago. Like I haven't changed. It's just that I have rules implemented in my booking like, for my business to move a certain way, but. You know what, man? I feel like people do confuse that word, cocky. Like, just because I exude confidence does not mean I'm cocky. I'm just fucking confident in my abilities. And people, I say it all the time, people who are insecure will call a person who's confident cocky.
Yeah, straight up.
Because you have something that they want. They are envious. And I don't give a fuck what you guys can write all the comments. Anybody can say whatever they want. They will never change my mind. That is the truth. If somebody says, "Damn, that fool's too confident," or he's cocky, or he's cocky, nah, fool, you just insecure. I make you uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like
you gotta be more confident.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm sorry, I just make you uncomfortable, dog. Like I'm allergic. What is that? What is that shit that P Diddy says? Bitch ass syndrome. Yeah, you got bitch ass syndrome. Yeah, bro. Straight up. Because that's the truth, dog. Like, you know, you shouldn't be scared from someone who has confidence. If somebody has confidence, it's because they have it for a reason. Like, you guys, you know, that's really important. I feel like people are scared to exude that, like, to be confident. You know, I think when you're confident enough in your abilities, people will see that, and it's like an aura. It's like a shield, you know, kind of like you don't let people really dictate what you can and cannot do. If you're confident in yourself, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You know,
what they think.
Yeah, bro, straight up. You know, and I think that when you have that, like, that's cool, man. Like, be confident. Don't let others' opinions affect you, and as far as way of them being insecure. And that's what happened in that live I was talking about. Like, he was saying all that stuff, and I was like, look, man, like, I don't know where do you get the audacity to say something like that when you don't even know who I am, you know? And it used to bug me before, but now it doesn't, because people who know me, like, you know what I mean? I'm not really tripping. And it was cool because the homie who I just tattooed, Gabriel, hopped in the live, and he was like, bro, you don't even know Rocky like that. Like, how can you call him cocky when you haven't even, because I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
He's like, you haven't even met this guy. Like, Rocky's one of the most humblest people I've ever met. And that was pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't plan that, but it was like, yeah, dog, like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Just because somebody's confident, you shouldn't call them cocky unless you're insecure or something like that.
Sure do.
You know. But that was like a whole rant. I don't know. I don't know how that went about.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For Beez. What kind of advice would you give to an artist who is not booking clients?
Ooh.
Like what do you suggest they should do?
Like, as far as like they're not busy, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I've said this to a lot of people, honestly, and a lot of my homies that I seen that were slow, you know, and we're kind of waiting for that opportunity to walk in on them, you know, as rather than, because it's happened to me before too, where I'm not doing shit. I'm not like, say I'm not tattooing and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything related to tattooing. I'm gonna go bullshit. I'm gonna like go kick it, right? I'm gonna go have fun, right? And nothing comes from that. But the day that I am not doing nothing and I sit down and draw, or I do something that benefits my career as far as painting, drawing, you know, coming up with just different stuff that will benefit your career, even if you're not tattooing, you know, because tattooing is not all of it. You know what I'm saying? There's everything else besides tattooing. So, fuck, I got lost. What the fuck I was saying?
Having like
But
a slow week, they're not booking clients.
yeah.
Like, what do you think they should like?
Draw, promote, you know, go out there, advertise, talk to people. You know, like, I talk to people every day. Like, I'll be sitting somewhere, I'll see someone tattoo, hey, where you get tattooed? oh, for real? Here's mine. You want to get like,
Yo.
even if they probably won't get tatted by me, or I don't know if they will, it's still you're throwing that energy out there. You know what I'm saying? By not going out partying when you're not busy, drawing, working, keeping your head down, being like just applying yourself to it. Even if you're not tattooing, you're still putting that energy out there, and it's gonna come back. You know, because like. Yeah, the days that I'm not doing nothing comes to me. But the day that I am working on my crafts and like, people hit me up. People want to book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you put that energy out there, you're gonna receive it. So I just say, you know, if you're not busy, go out, advertise. You know, practice, draw, do something that's gonna benefit your career, even if you're not tattooing, because you put in that energy out there, you're gonna receive it. So,
you know, it's crazy too that you mentioned that because. Or like being around the right people. I remember, so we were in Sacramento this past weekend. Myself, homie Blasted, and Julius, and it was so crazy because I think I mentioned this not on the podcast. This is a pretty long podcast, it's pretty dope. But I don't think I mentioned it on the podcast. I think I mentioned it before when we were not filming. So every time Beez comes to the gallery, he puts in work, man. Like, this motherfucker is like here for like a week minimum and like stays putting in work. Like, he'll be tattooing all day, like from 10 a.m. to like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. sometimes, right? It's crazy. He'll wake up the next morning and tattoo. I don't fucking know how. Oh, Red Bull. Red Bull is how he does it.
For real.
We need a fucking Red Bull sponsor for this motherfucker.
For real.
But Red Bull keeps this motherfucker alive. I don't know how. His organs are all fucked up, bro. But Red Bull for sure gets this fool going. But every time he comes here, he's fucking putting in work. And I'm like, God damn. So it inspires me. So when I went to Sacramento this past weekend, I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to fucking grind like this fool does. I'm going to grind. And when I was in Sacramento, I was working a lot, bro. Like, I was tattooing late. Like, Thursday night, I tattooed super late. I tattooed, that's the day I tattooed twice. I was tattooing like 3 in the morning. And Friday, I tattooed like 10:30, 11, I think. Saturday, like 10:30, 11. And I still wanted to do the podcast, but we had to make it to the homie Osti. Shout out Osti. We made it to Osti's birthday bang shang. What the fuck is that mean? little birthday thing. But I remember being out there, and I was like, fuck, man, I want to go hard out here. Like, because the first time I went to Sacramento, I booked like one person. And it reminded me of when Beez came out to the gallery. When Beez came out to the gallery, he booked one person, but that one person flaked. So when I went to Allegiant for the first time, I booked one client. That was it. I didn't get to tattoo anymore. The second time I went to fucking Sacramento this past weekend, I booked every day. And I thought to myself, like, damn, that's dope. Like, I kind of put myself in the position where you were when you first came to the gallery compared to the second time.
right.
So when that happened, I was like, man, I'm in this mentality of like, fuck, I gotta put in work, man. Like, I'm gonna be like my homie Beez, where like I just put in all this work, put in the time, put in the effort, and show people like, yo, I'm gonna do this, man. And that's one thing I got from him too, was like the drive, like the dedication to the craft, where it was like, even if it is just a lettering tattoo, it could still be dope. It could still come out hard as fuck. And I could take up this whole area, and even though it's not black and gray, it's a lettering piece, and it could still look hard as fuck, you know. And fools at the shop are like, "Damn, bro, that's dope." Like, you know, it was a really cool experience, man. It was like, hell yeah, you know, because you had set that tone for me, where it's like, damn, this fool, when he gets spots at the gallery, it's all business, no play, you know. And that's kind of how I took it, you know. And I think that's very important too, as far as like, you know, if you want to get further in your career. Now, this is not for everybody, right? This advice I have for you guys isn't for everybody, but like for me, you know, I'm so hyper focused right now. Like, I don't give a shit about anything but tattooing or working. Like, even this podcast, guys. Like, I just started this podcast recently because I wanted to share with people, like, give them some motivational tips, or like have other artists on to kind of give their background of what they've been through or what they're going through. And the trials that they've been through. And, you know, we work a lot. Like, we do the tattooing, and then we'll travel, and then we have time for podcasts, and we have a bunch of episodes coming up. And it's like, that all stems from hard work, man, and, like, not being distracted by fucking distractions, I guess. You know, like, I don't really go out and party and drink because I am so hyper focused. So when people ask me, like a lot of people will ask me, and this is my chance to answer this question for people who have been asking me, like, what motivates me? It's like, what motivates me is wanting to be the best version of myself, right? Like wanting to fucking work so much. Like, I don't spend my time going out. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You know, I'm so hyper focused on what I want to do in life, and I have a goal. And I think that's the only way to really, like, move up in life, right? Is, like, being that way, man, and having the right people around you. Like, if all of your, like, I always tell everybody the same thing. Like, if you have 5 friends and they're all crackheads, I guarantee you're gonna be a crackhead by the end of the day. Like, straight up. Like, I use this analogy a lot. I'm like, well, if you have five friends who are crackheads, you're gonna be the 6th crackhead. But the same thing in the complete opposite way is, like, if you had 5 friends and those 5 friends were millionaires, I guarantee you eventually by the end of the day or sometime you will be the 6th millionaire, because you're going to get tired of not being a millionaire. Imagine having 5 friends and they're all millionaires and you're that broke dude that can't do what the 5 millionaires are doing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to be very frustrated. You're going to be annoyed. And they're all going to be annoyed by you. You know, you're like, fuck, these fools are buying boats. And you know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. But that is an exaggerated example. But that is it, bro. Like, I feel like you guys need to surround yourself with those people who are like that, like who you want to be like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why, like, I enjoy when you come around, because, like, you put me back in that mindset of, like, all right, fool, like, damn, Rocky, you thought you were going hard? Nah, not really. Like I said earlier, like, it's really cool. Like, you know, I'm known for, like, lettering and stuff. But then when this food comes here, that shit humbles me quick. I'm like, oh damn, ouch, yikes, you know, like, damn, this food's here. Fuck this guy, like.
but there's a difference, because you see it differently than other people see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see it as, like, a motivational thing. Like,
I do.
I can gain something. You know
fuck yeah,
rather
bro.
Rather than, like, fuck, man, like, fuck this, I'm gonna fucking go somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
hell no.
So it's like your different outlook on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
for
like,
sure.
You could see somebody doing something that you want to do and be inspired and do it, or you could be the opposite.
Yeah.
And just be hateful, or, you know, throw
yeah,
shade
no,
or
definitely.
whatever. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Where would you say this drive, this motivation, this hunger comes from?
Fuck. You know what? Yeah, for sure. To be honest, bro, so I started tattooing when I was 31 years old, which is 3 years ago. Well, 31. I turned 34 this year. Fuck. Cut that out. Cut that out. Fuck, yeah, make that a reel.
Cut.
You know what, bro? I've been wanting to talk about that too, where I think the drive and the hunger came from, I started tattooing very late at 31, you know, and I remember people always say, oh my God, it's too late to start something, right? They always give me some stupid ass excuse. Oh, you're too old to go to school, right? That's fucking dumb. Like, I believe in people projecting their fears. That's somebody who projects. Like, oh, you want a tattoo? Are you sure, bro? Like, you're 31. Oh, so, like, that's somebody projecting their fear into you, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? But not that I want to prove them wrong, but I'd be like, now that I know I'm 31 and I'm going to just start tattooing, I think the reason why for the hustle and the hard working, the drive, is because I realized that I started so late that I have a lot of catch up on. A lot of catching up to do. How old are you?
29.
27? 28? 26. So you guys are, like, even Beez is younger than I, and I'm fucking 33. So at the age of 31, I realized, holy shit, this fool's who've been tattooing for, like, since they were 19 years old, and they're like 10 years deep. I was like, fuck, I have to catch up. Like, I have to work really fucking hard to catch up to these dudes. That's where the drive came from. I understood, like, fuck, man, like, I'm starting way too late. And I'm the type of person, bro, like, I have, like, a very fixated personality, not, like, in a bad way, but I'm very fixated on, like, on goals. Like, I have to see it through. Like, if I create a goal, like, that goal has to be accomplished. Like, there's no such thing as ever checking off a goal. I have never not checked a goal off my list. So, it, like, right now, when I first started tattooing, I was like, fuck, I want to be known for lettering. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I was like, fuck, I got to keep going until I get there. But like I mentioned, bro, to answer your question is, yeah, like, starting off so late in my career, I was like, I got to catch up to these fools. And, like, not that I'm in competition with them, but for me, like, I got to catch up, you know? And like I said, bro, I feel like just the drive, especially, I'm not going to lie, bro, like, just this year, like the beginning of this year, late last year, the beginning of this year, like, I started going to even of a more of a focused mindset, you know? I started, like, distancing myself from certain people or certain things because I do want to reach these goals, and I understand that I have to be in a certain mindset, you know? I have this thing where I call it, it's like a committee table, and I always, like, view this committee table and figure out who's all sitting at my table. Are these people at my table not worth my time, but are they helping me? Are they benefiting me? Are we benefiting from each other? Are they leeches? You know, like, what is it? Who's sitting at my table? You know, and I feel like, you know, that helps with the whole drive thing, bro. I just feel like I said, I started late. I got to catch up, and, you know, fuck, dude. I think that's what it is, really, to be honest, man, is having the right people at my table and just being that fixated person on accomplishing goals, you know. So I think, you know, I've talked to you about this. I'm not gonna say too much on the video, but I've talked to you about this, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I told you already, and, you know, that's the reason why I've been bringing you around. Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the things that we talked about, bro, I want to make sure that, okay, well, you know what? I know your situation, dog. Like, all right, I'm going to bring you around these foods at Western. I brought you here to talk to my homie Beez, you know, to hear these people's stories, bro. Like, I wish, if I knew you before, I would have invited you to Sacramento with me. I fuck with you, Angel. I do, you know. So I would have invited you with me to Sacramento so you get to know these people, because I feel an obligation too, bro. Like, you know, fortunately for me, I have been given this opportunity where people will hit me up, they'll DM me and be like, damn, dude, like, you inspire me to do this, do that. And I'm like, damn, that wasn't the intention, but I'm glad I did that, you know. And I do, like I said, I feel this obligation where, like, damn, if I have an opportunity, like Beez, he helped me, he gave me opportunities. So if I have an opportunity to maybe get this guy out of this situation and introduce him to this person and this person, or kind of help this guy along the way, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that's gonna do that, bro. Like I said, I find incredible amount of joy in helping people. It's fucking ridiculous. It's crazy. I really do. It sounds ridiculous, but I do. You know what I mean? So if I can help somebody do that shit, I'm like, yeah, I'm about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, and I appreciate that. No, yeah. Cool. Hell yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. That's cool, bro. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Cool. Hell yeah, bro. Fuck yeah, man. I appreciate that. You know, and I think that's, you know, it's, you know, I think that's what was so cool about the podcast, you know, like, you know, it was funny how it happened, bro. We interviewed the first Blasted interview, and we went on for like a long time, dog. Like, we talked a lot, and I didn't even know how long the interview was. It was like an hour and something long. Before then I started looking at everybody else's interview. I was like, damn, we went for a long time. Like, and it was getting like mad love on Instagram. You know, people were fucking with it, and then Alfonso Blasted was like, he was like, hey, fool, let's do another interview. I was like, all right, but let's talk about business. I was like, all right, cool. But then like a week later, he goes, hey, Rocky, did you ever think about doing a podcast? I'm like, no, podcast. Like, what the fuck? Like, no. He's like, you should, bro. Like, I think I think you should do it because you can be on camera and you talk, and I don't notice those things. Obviously, he's recorded a lot of people, right? So he gets to see the people on camera, how they act or whatever it is, and he's giving me these cool compliments, and I was like, I mean, I don't see that, but yeah, sure, like I don't mind, like, and what happened was this fool like threw a curveball at me. The first podcast wasn't even scripted. Yeah. This fool, we were supposed to do the fucking interview for Blasted, part 2, and he's like setting up, and he was like, "Hey Rocky, we're gonna shoot the first podcast today." I was like, "What? What the fuck?
Like, get ready, fool."
What the fuck, bro? He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it today." I was like, "Oh," I was all sweating. All of a sudden, I was sweating. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like. And I was like, well, what do I say? He goes, just talk, fool. And I was like, fuck it. And I just started talking. And I'm honestly, bro, thank you, dog. Because it was probably the coolest thing that has happened so far, dog. Like, you know, we got like a lot of love on the first episode ever. But now having more artists, and I think it's cool. It's something that we're able to do outside of tattooing, you know. And I think that's another thing too, bro. Like, I feel like artists, they only think of themselves as like tattoo artists. They don't think of themselves as other things, you know, like you creating those bleach shirts, bro. That shit is dope. So I think artists don't look at themselves as like, they need to start thinking of other sources of income too. Like, not that we're making any money on this, because we're not, but like just there's other ways you can use your talent. Like you use your talent as far as like making these bleach shirts or making those prints, and I think a lot of artists out there, they don't monetize off that. They're not figuring out different ways to put their work out there. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just dope. Like when you paint on the shirts or like with the bleach. I don't want to give out too much info. But that's just dope, fool. You know what I mean?
And I feel like that all circles back too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you're like reaching out and trying other things, it's gonna come back around and help you be better at tattooing.
Yeah,
know?
For sure.
Because then that's stretching your creativity too. You know.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the question that I had answered earlier. Yeah, stretching out creativity. Yeah.
So like, anything artistic, you know, anything like that you're doing besides tattooing will only come back and benefit you tattooing. Yeah. Because that's just, you know, you're just expanding your mind to the creativeness and shit like that. You know.
Yeah. So. Fuck yeah. Any other questions, guys? I don't know if you guys have any questions on here, but you guys have anything? No? You guys are?
I mean, I would say like it started off like when I first started tattooing. Like when I first started tattooing, people didn't really see it that serious. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really see it like, oh, that's not a real job. You can't really make you can't make a living off of that. You know what I mean? Like that's just a hobby. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I got that a lot, you know, and then it was really discouraging, like a lot, you know. And so I would say that was like the first part of it, because I'm like, man, like anything I've tried, I want to be the best at it, you know. So like if I want to tattoo, I want to be the best I can be at it, you know. Like even despite people telling me like, oh, that's not a real job, like that's just a hobby. And I'm like, well, all right, I'll show you a hobby. Like, and so that was like, that was like the first get for, you know, and then just like, you know, tattooing for so long, and then not really, and then getting to a point where I feel like I was kind of like not really getting anywhere, you know, like plateauing, not like just getting to a point where I was frustrated, you know, and I was like, man, I want to be known for something, you know, like I want to stand out. I don't want to just, how I said, I don't want to be just another fish in a barrel, you know what I'm saying? I want to stand out. I want to, because like how you say it, like, you know what I mean? Like getting out there more, you know, like what do you say? Like being more known, because then that's going to help me with my career, you know what I'm saying? Right, like getting my name out there more, because then that's going to benefit me more. People are going to know about me. They're going to want to come and get tattooed. And so, I got lost on that one. But,
it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, just I guess I would say people not believing in me. Yeah. Yeah. People
there
like
you go.
I was being really discouraged. People not believing in me, that really pushed me a lot. And then just wanting to be the best version of myself. Like that's how he said, like you could, you know what I mean? Like how we're on critics, you know what I mean? You could draw something and be like, oh, I don't like it. I want to do it better. You know what I'm saying? Just do that every single time. And that, yeah. And so like that's gonna give you the drive right there to just be better and better and better every single time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's important, bro. You know, like I think people are worried about the wrong thing. For sure. People are worried about the wrong thing. Like they're trying to put out work faster than it needs to be, or they're all about making the money quickly, and so they'll tattoo like shit just to get paid really fast. And I can't fucking stand those people, man. Like, now you're letting the client understand that, like, I think a lot of artists don't understand the gravity of like tattooing a person. I've only been tattooing for almost 3 years, man. But even from the beginning, I knew how important that was. Like, this person saved a lot. I mean, now in my career, people have saved a lot of money to get tattooed by me. I'm sure by him. And it's an obligation, man. It's our fucking duty as tattoo artists to make sure that you don't rush this piece of work. Like this is a piece of art that you're putting on somebody. And I think a lot of motherfuckers take that for granted, man. They're like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna bust this out real quick. The shit that gets me upset the shit that pisses me off the most, reel this shit. The shit that pisses me off the most is when artists come hungover and tattoo. That shit pisses me off. I don't give a fuck who watches this podcast and talks shit. I don't give a fuck anymore about what anybody says. That shit pisses me off, bro. Because how would you feel if your doctor came, right? No, hey, let's speak about this real quick, dog. Like, how the fuck would you feel if your doctor came and had to do something to you that required something like a tattoo? I don't know I can't give the comparison, but he came in hungover. How would you feel about that? How would you feel if your optometrist came in hungover and had to give you an examination on your eye, but gave you the wrong fucking prescription? Now you're rocking the wrong prescription, you're fucking up your eyes, right? Like, motherfuckers don't think about this shit, man, and that's why I take my job extremely serious. Like, how inconsiderate and irresponsible are you to come to the tattoo studio hungover to tattoo somebody? You are a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck what you gotta say. Because you're telling me that client's paying 4 figures to get tattooed by you, but yet you can't even keep your fucking eyes straight, or you have a headache and you can't even focus on this tattoo. You don't know if that client saved months and months to get tattooed by you. What if that client saved months and months and looked up to your work, and you come in not even level-headed and you're like, oh, I'm just sorry, bro, I'm fucking hungover, because your tattoo artist job is so cool. I get it that we have a cool fucking job. I do. We have the greatest fucking job, I feel like. But that goes without saying. Take it, be responsible with it. Because I'll tell you right now, if I was getting tattooed and that fool came in hungover, I was like, bitch, you ain't touching me. You ain't touching me, dog. You ain't touching me, dog. You fuck away from me. Straight the fuck up. So that means a lot, man. Like, I take all that shit into consideration. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't even know how we got on this topic. I don't know what the fuck you asked. But yeah, that shit right there pisses me off when artists don't take their job seriously. So, if you're out there and that's what you do, that's cool, I guess. I mean, you're a piece of shit, but how do we get on that conversation? Damn, that's crazy. I don't even know how did I get on that? But no, there was, I went off the deep end.
Well, because it's like, how do you expect someone to take you serious?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't even take yourself serious. Yeah. Yeah, I really am, dog. Like, yeah, I'm getting, yeah. Oh yeah, the bad mentor. I don't want to get started on the bad. I could talk about that shit for hours. So yeah, I don't want to get on top of that. But yeah, for sure. You know, like I think that if you know to take your job serious, for sure, take your job more seriously though, man. You know, if you're gonna be a tattoo artist and you're gonna tattoo these people, take it with a heavy responsibility that you know that these people are paying a lot of money. I remember a client. He was getting tattooed by me. He was like, "Damn, dude, I saved 3 months to get tattooed by you." And I was like, "What?" Like, I don't even charge that much for tattoos. I really don't. But I was like, "Damn, like that shit changed my life, bro." I was like, "Wow, like this fool flew in from Colorado." I was like, "Yeah, I saved 3 months to get tattooed by you." And I was like, "Damn, this fool flew in from Colorado, got an Airbnb and saved and did all this money, did all this shit to get tattooed by me. Like, that's crazy." And I'm sure you've had people fly in from wherever, you know, like that's so humbling. Remember that fool? Shout out to homie Ink by Rye. That fool flew from Canada to attend your seminar.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then he got tattooed by me. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was crazy for sure.
That's love, right? That's the shit that makes me appreciate my job. We had a homie named Boy. Boy flew in from Canada just to get tattooed by me. I was like, remember that fool? Huh? From Canada, no. Oh, from Australia. What did I say, Canada? Yeah, Australia. Boyka. That fool flew from Australia to get tattooed by me.
For real.
14 hours. I was like, and then he proceeded every day after, because he was hanging out here for a while, to like, he said, "Hey Rocky, do you mind if I record our conversations?" I was like, "What? Yeah, sure." But he recorded the conversation. After he would ask me questions about like business and marketing and how I think, and he fucking recorded the conversations, and I was blown away. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, but it was cool, bro. It was like a really humbling experience. I'm like, damn, like my voice really matters to this guy. Like, that's fucking dope. So that's where everything changed for me, bro. Like having this obligation. I'm like, damn, it's not about me, or like, I feel like this obligation to help other people, you know, like, and that's why I love tattooing, because it's been able to give me the opportunity to do what I love, which is tattooing, but also help people at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know. Yeah, bro. Because I know if I'm helping somebody, it makes me want to go even harder. Like, if I know somebody's watching me tattoo, I'm like, fuck, I gotta make sure this shit comes out like really, really good. You know, like, yeah, for real. When I'm teaching somebody, I'm actually getting better myself, because I'm like, damn, these fools are watching. Like, I did that seminar at Georgia Spot. Remember? Oh, if you remember Georgia, Dick, you tattooed that fool. You never finished his back.
Oh yeah,
bitch.
Yeah. It's in progress. Yeah.
It's in progress.
Yeah.
But remember, you know, the homie George, that fool hit me up, like mad love. Fool hit me up. He was like, "Hey Rock." He's like, "Hey man, I'm at the studio. I got a couple of fools here, young fools. They look up to you. They love your lettering. I was wondering." I was like, Stop talking. Yup, whatever it is you're asking for, I'll do it." He's like, "You didn't even hear me?" I was like, "I don't give a fuck what you gotta say if I'll do it. Like, I'm honored. Like, whatever you need for, I'm there. Like, what do you need from me?" And he was like, "Do you mind if you come here and give a seminar?" I was like, "Done." Rap, you know, like, I'm on it. And he just thought I was gonna go there and just like do like some drawing. I said, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go there, fool. Like, I'm gonna tattoo somebody for free." And that's why I love tattooing, bro. Like, I don't expect to get paid. Like, I didn't expect to get paid for that. I just wanted to go there to fucking help, bro. Yeah. You know, like, that was super fucking cool. I got to go there. All these fools were there. They were like listening to me talk, and I was going over lettering, and I was like, "You know what? Fuck this. Who wants to get tattooed? Who wants a little letter badge real quick?" And I tattooed the homie Benji. Shout out Benji. Benji_tattoos. I tattooed him. I put like a J on his wrist. And yeah, it was super cool, man. Like, teaching them what I know was able to help me. Like, damn, I can't fuck this up, bro. Like, and it came out. That's one of the best letter badges I've ever done. I've seen it healed, and I'm like, damn, that shit is saturated. Oh, yeah. That shit came out dope. And you had a lettering seminar too. Remember that, the day of when OG was being born. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was like 10 minutes before I saw it.
Yeah. Oh man, this fool was tripping. Woo, damn. Want to talk about that real quick or what?
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, I remember in the morning we went to like the doctor just to just to see where we're at and like to get induced and stuff like that and so he's like I forgot what exactly he said, but he was like, yeah, we can take you, and see when it can happen and whatnot like that, but it probably won't be today. And so we're like, all right, cool. So right after that, I went to the store, grabbed some more last minute supplies that I needed, and then I went and set up for the seminar. And shout out Rocky and the homies too. They came all the way out from California to help me put it together. So yeah, I really appreciate that. So
Sure.
shout out the homies for that. And so I was already a nervous wreck. I was already like, damn, like all these people had to watch me. Like I gotta put this seminar on. And 10 minutes before people already started showing up, right? So like a couple people were already there. So like 10 minutes before we got started, my girl calls me and she's like, "Hey, don't freak out." But we on the way to the hospital. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, Don't worry, don't freak out. Like they said it's a long process, so just go and do your thing and come after, And I'm like, yeah, all right.
This fool was freaking out.
Yeah, no, bro.
This fool was freaking out.
Dude, so like after that I hung up and I'm like, oh shit, like my kid's about to be born today or like right now, maybe. Right now.
Yeah.
And I'm at the shop and I'm about to teach a class. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So I just like thugged it out, zoned it out, did what I had to do, and then, I still made it to the hospital, and then my son was born shortly after that. So
yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when as soon as he got off the phone, like his face was like all white, like
hey, I remember that shit too.
Yeah, his face was
like,
white, bro, like whiter than he is now, bro. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
You're like, what?
I was like, what happened? Yeah, and I remember immediately, fool, right after that, my phone, I got an alert, and Jazz hit me up, and she was like, make sure he doesn't freak out. She was like, I remember, she was like, please make sure he doesn't freak out. I know he's gonna freak out. Just talk to him. You're the only one who will get through to him. Just take care of him. Let him know he's not on his way. Tell him just to relax. And I was like, I got you, Jazz. I got you. I got you, girl. And I was like, hey, fool, just chill, dog. He was all white.
Yeah, dude, I felt sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I was like, just chill, fool, relax. I was like, look, dog, this is what Jasmine said. Just relax, fool. And he was like, all right. And shit was crazy. It was really cool though. You took care of it though, fool. It
was sick, bro. Hey, I remember she was like, "Don't tell him I told you that."
Oh yeah, she's like,
"Hey, fool, look."
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, she did. She wrote like, "Don't tell him I told you." And I was like, "Beez, look, fool, look. You're gonna be okay. Don't freak out." She told me to tell you not to freak out, but don't tell her that I showed you this. But now you know, Jazz. Now you know. You know. But yeah, that shit
worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out. But yeah, bro, it was cool. You had the whole seminar for like 6-7 hours, and then right after the seminar was done, we were like, oh, I gotta go. And you got your shit quick. Fool got in the truck and just took off.
Everybody was still eating.
Everybody's like, "Where's Beez at?" I was like, "That fool's gotta go, dog." Like,
bro. But I told everybody too.
Yeah. But you were gone. Man.
Yeah,
everybody
dude.
understood though. You know?
I floored it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy, bro. Mm-hmm. We'll be good. How much we got? We good on time? We good? 200 cut. But yeah, man. Fuck, I don't know if he has any other questions. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Oh, Jazz says snitch.
Nah. Hey, that's my boy, so it don't count. That's my boy. That's what he's supposed to do.
She says snitch.
Oh.
Fuck.
He's supposed to do that.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. That's too funny. What had the question?
What are like some tips or like what do you guys do when say you're freehanding or tattooing and it's just not it? You're freehanding and it's not coming out the way you want it to.
Okay.
You've already spent like 2 hours.
Oh shit. So before we answer, so the question was that camera's off, right? But this one's on. So I don't know if you can hear it, but the question was, what do you do when you draw something for maybe an hour or two and it's not coming out the way you want, right? That's the question. So
I would say, because I've run into this problem a lot. So I would always say, like, erase it, take a step back, go take a walk, get a fresh breath of air, regain your thoughts. You'd be like, all right, I'm just at a tough point right now. It's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've achieved it before. I could achieve it now. It's just not going that well right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just go, walk away, get a fresh breath of air, think about it, come back with a new game plan, start over fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the end of the world.
yeah.
So that's what I would say.
I think that's very important. You know what, too? And you notice how he didn't say he quit, because that's important. That's the same thing I would do. I would be like, fuck, I got to take a break, dog. Like, I got to chill because I'm stressing so much right now. Like, let me chill. I'll take a breath. I'll walk away. Because it has happened to me before, too. Not often, but it has happened. And like I said, we mentioned that he never used the word quit, because I think if you do quit, you'll quit again, right? Like, let's say if you tried it, like, I can't do this. Let's just do it another day. You will do that again another day. That
shit will eat you alive.
That shit will eat, for real. Because
then you'll be like, I could have did that shit.
Yeah, and that happened to me almost once, dog. One time I was here and I forgot what name it was, and I drew like 3 times for like an hour and a half past like 2 hours, and I was like, wow. And I was like, hey, dog, you know what? I need a break, bro. I need a break. I was like, I gotta chill. And I went and I chilled for like 15 minutes, and I came back and I drew it. I drew it again in the first try, after that break. And I was like, thank God, because like I almost quit, and I knew that if I quit and I said, you know what, dog, we gotta schedule another day, like the fuck, like I would do that again. I'd make it okay to do that again. Like they say, once you steal, like a thief is a thief always after they steal the first time. Like if you steal once, you steal again. Well, if you quit once, you'll quit again. So if it's not there for you, just take a minute, take a breath, walk around, whatever.
Strategize,
yeah, and then
Still
go back.
got time.
Because you know what it is? I think it's very, very difficult when you are freehanding, because freehanding is a long process.
For real.
But there's nothing more rewarding, to be honest, than drawing something out and then tattooing it and seeing it done. There's nothing more rewarding than that, man. Like, fuck. It's so cool, like, when you see his work or my work and we draw it, and it's just the letters, and then like 8-9 hours later, it's like, boom, bitch.
Whoa. My shit floating.
Picasso. Like, it's a sticker and it looks dope as fuck. There's nothing more rewarding than that. Yes, I get it. Stenciling is faster, but there's something about just drawing it on, man. Like, there's nothing more rewarding.
But what is it about? Is it about the time spent on it, or about the outcome of it?
Yeah,
it's always about the outcome, no matter what.
For sure. And I noticed that too. I got to a thing to where if I draw something on a person, I have to love it. Like, I won't tattoo something if I don't love it. Like, if I don't love the way the drawing looks, for me personally, like if I don't love the way the drawing looks, I won't tattoo it. I'll erase the whole thing. Or what I'll do sometimes, I'll also like draw it, I'll take a picture of it, and I'll walk away, and I'll look at the picture somewhere else, because a picture would tell you what you can't see. Like, if you're looking at somebody and you've been drawing on them for an hour or two, it just looks the same. But you take a snapshot of it, you walk away, like maybe not look at it for 5 minutes, come back and look at it, and you're like, because when you go home after you do a tattoo, you're like, oh, wow, I missed this. But if you draw it, you take a picture of it, and you go to the back, and you're like, wait a minute, ooh, that looks off. And then you come back, you're like, it is off. Let me redo this real quick. That's important, too. I think after you freehand something, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen it, where I'll draw something, and I'll be like, I'm not going to look at it. And I'll walk away for like 5 minutes. Or that's my time to set on my inks. That's enough time for me to not look at it, do what I need to do, come back and be like, you know what? 5 minutes ago, that was bugging me. I thought it would go away. It's still bugging me. I'm going to erase it. Yeah. So that's very important. I think every tattoo I've done, I've fallen in love with the drawing. If I don't love the drawing, I won't tattoo it. 9 times out of 10. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. True. Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah.
I'm just saying that because I feel like some people might take it like, no, I still get done today no matter what. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that can happen too. Yeah. If that client can come tomorrow.
Also, given like the circumstances.
Yeah. You know
Like
what
as
I
far
mean?
as if it's a drawing, if you're just drawing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you could finish drawing that day. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Obviously, yeah, like if you get to a point where you're tattooing, you're like, I think it's best if we come back to this another. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Given the circumstances and shit, yeah.
Yeah, I would for sure keep drawing. I would draw it at least an outline and then be like, you know what? You know, it took me this long to draw it. I just finished outlining it 6 hours. Let's just come back another day and I'll tattoo it. Yeah. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna draw that shit. Like I am. Like that shit will eat me alive, and I'll take a break, you know. But I will draw it and then outline it. And if I have to, I'll say, you know what, dog, we just outline it today. Today was a full whatever session, and the next one's on me. If it has to be, then it's cool. You know, because that client may not be inclined to come back the next day, or what if that client flew in? So I think depending on the circumstances, yeah, for sure, depending on the circumstances.
I feel that for sure.
Anybody else? No.
Well, I say,
No. Nope. I never have. No, never.
I mean, just like how we go back given the circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I feel like I got to like for instance, like I've done it a few times where I've just been tattooing so long that day, to where like by the end of it, I'm like my vision's getting.
Oh yeah, but that's not quitting. That's not quitting.
Yeah.
That's calling it because you're compromising your work.
And then I'll let them know like, hey, we've been tattooing for 9-10 hours. I'm getting super tired.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I can achieve the same quality that I was achieving in the first half, you know? Yeah. So I think it's just best if we quit now because, you know, and then that makes them feel a little bit better too. Like, oh, you're right. I don't want no rush shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you want to try to finish that all in one go. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes not everything's supposed to be done in one time.
Yeah. That's not quitting though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stopping. Yeah. Quitting for me would be like, this is too hard. I'm gonna stop. Yeah. I've never done that. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Fuck. I came close once, but I was tattooing a Bernini Jesus on this guy. Oh man! Shout out to homie, bro. His name is What's his name? God damn it, Jesse Ortiz. I think his name is Jesse Ortiz. I was tattooing at this station right here where Valerie's at, and it was a free tattoo. And I was like maybe not even 1 year into tattooing, bro. I was like, I want to tattoo this Bernini Jesus. I want to do it. And it was the one that has like considered the Raider, where it has like half the eye is like blacked out. And I was like, I posted on Instagram, I want to tattoo this Bernini Jesus for free. Who wants it? And Jesse hit me up. He's like, I'll do it. Excuse me. I was like, all right, fuck it, run it. He came. Fuck, bro. I was tattooing that motherfucker, dog. Mm-hmm. That shit was fucked up. I don't know what the fuck was going on, bro. I was tattooing that shit. I felt bad. I was like, oh, hell nah. And I had the reference right there so he could see what I'm seeing. You know? So I'm like, oof. Like, this is looking really bad right now. And I was stressing. I was sweating, dog. I was like, I had the tattoo sweats. As I'm going to start calling it tattoo sweats. I was like, So I was like, hey, I'm going to take a break, fool. He goes, all right, cool, dog. Sounds good. I go downstairs. And this is like 2021. People who were here that not here anymore, but Julius was here, but Tony, George, I forgot. I don't know who else was here. Brian. And I went to the balcony. I was full. That's when I used to smoke cigarettes too. Bro, I swear to God, fool. I swear to God. I probably smoked like 10 cigarettes, fool. In a row. I was like, lighting it up with the next one. Whoop, you know, like putting the motherfuckers back. Because I was stressed. And then Tony, Julius, George, like, what's going on? What's Julius? This is Julius. What's going on, Papa? Shout out Julius, my homie, it's my dog, it's my brother. He's like, what's wrong, Papa? And I was like, fuck, fool. Like, I know you see that bullshit in there, and they're, you know, and then these are your homies, right? So they gave you these little white lies, like, oh, it doesn't even look that bad. No. And I was like, fuck you guys. Like, I know it looks bad.
Yeah,
like,
10 cigarettes says otherwise.
Yeah, my voice says otherwise.
You don't see my eyes.
Yeah, you don't see my fucking eyes, man. You don't hear my raspy ass voice right now. You see these tears falling down. And I was like, man, fuck you guys, bro. I know that shit's bad. And they're like, nah, Rock, you're tripping. It's not even that bad. And they kept saying over. And then these are your homies. You know, so you kind of start believing them. Like, damn, these are your homies. Your homies wouldn't lie to you. Knowing what I know now. Motherfuckers were lying to me. But they're like, nah, it doesn't look that bad, Rock. Yeah. And they were out there telling me all this shit. And I was like, damn, I'm going to fucking quit. I remember I was like, I'm going to fucking quit, dog. I can't. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, I can't be a tattoo artist. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Imagine if I stopped tattooing that day in 2021, I would not be where I'm at today, which is crazy. Right, which is crazy, bro. Mm-hmm. So I come back in, and I've talked about this moment before. I think I talked about it on Blasted on the interview. And I walked in, and Jesse was like, I looked at Jesse and said, hey, man, like, I'm fucking struggling. I'm really struggling, dog. And he was like, it's all good, Rocky. It was on his thigh. You know, nobody has heard the Angelo podcast. Oh, you guys heard the Angelo podcast, the real. Angelo talks about how he did 3 roses on that fool's thigh. Mm-hmm. And he looked at Sia, and Sia looked at him, and he started laughing because it was all fucked up. It looked like crunched up paper, like or like a brain, you know? That's what Angelo said. Shout out my boy Angelo. That's how I looked at it. Was on his thigh, and I looked at the piece, and I was like, fuck. And if you notice this Bernini piece, he has like one eye is like completely black, but it's like the shape of his nose, right? So like the black is like the ridge of his nose. But this tattoo, I did like a fucking eye patch. There was like no shape to the nose. It was like straight down, like a little square. That's how I knew it was bad. Yeah, it was bad, bro. And I was like, fuck. And Jesse was like, Rocky. I was like, Jesse, I don't know if I can finish this. He goes, Rocky, this is really cool. He goes, I didn't even know this guy. He was like, Rocky, I don't give a fuck how you feel, but you're not quitting on me. Yeah, bro. Yeah. He gives me chills still, like, to this day. It's so cool. But he was like, Rocky, I don't give a fuck how you're feeling, but you're not going to fucking quit on me right now. You're going to finish this tattoo, bro. Because if you quit now, you're going to quit again. And I was like, excuse me, motherfucker? You know, like, excuse the fuck out of me? Yeah, I'm going to sit back down and finish this tattoo because I want to. Not because you told me, but nah, you know. But, like, I was like, damn. I was like, that's some real shit. I was like, you know what? All right, dog. All right. And it changed everything. I was like, all right, I'm going to run it. And, yeah, I finished it. And that shit still like shit. But it was funny because after I finished it, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm like wiping it. But it's because he changed my outlook. Even though the tattoo was fucking horrendous, I was happy because I didn't quit. Yeah, that's why I didn't wipe that shit down in excitement because of how it looked. I was excited because I didn't quit, bro. That was a monumental moment in my career. Monumental, dog. Like, because it could have make or break me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, shout out Jesse for sure. Because after I wiped that shit down, I was like, man, that shit don't look bad, fool. And I was like, should I post this shit? And they were like, nah, don't post it. I was like, I'm gonna post it. He was like, nah, don't post it. Like the homies were like, nah, I wouldn't post. I was like, but it has transparency. Nah, don't post it.
Oh, wait, wait.
Yeah, and then it's crazy. Yeah, wait. Later. And then I remember a year later, I did that same piece, and I did a comparison. I did it before and after, and I got like mad love on it. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was like literally almost an exact year later. I did that same piece on a guy's forearm, and yeah, it was cool. I mean, yeah, it was cool. Like, I mean, I know I could do a better job now, but at the time, I was like, wow. And I posted on Instagram, and people were like, damn, that's dope, you know? So, yeah, for sure, don't quit. Don't quit on anything, you know? I'm a firm believer in that shit, bro. Like, don't quit, you know? I talked to my homie Blasted right here about that. Can we say your name? No, we say. All right, so we be saying Blasted. His name's Alfonso, but Blasted sounds cooler.
He's pretty blasted too.
He's pretty yeah. He is pretty blasted. He's got his fucking head tattoo. Yeah, but I was talking to Alfonso about this before, and like you know, for anybody who hasn't, I mean, it's like free marketing for this guy, but not that he needs it. But if you haven't seen Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer stand up, you guys should watch that, because there's a very powerful message in that episode, and that talks about quitting. Where Dave Chappelle talks about how he's a very powerful dreamer, and how he doesn't quit. And if you know who Dave Chappelle is, obviously you know how successful he is. And he talks about the end of that episode of that stand up, he talks about how he would dream of that moment he was on that stage, you know, and then like obviously X amount of years later, there he is on the stage, you know, performing in front of all these people. And that he says that he's a very powerful dreamer, and he believes in himself and not quitting. And I think that's very important. I think people don't dream enough. People don't believe in themselves enough. But if you can do that, that is a superpower. You know, I think if you can really dream, like, I think that I do it a lot where I vividly dream things. Like, I will sit here, like stand right here and think about like my life. Like, I will constantly play like a movie or like a trailer in my mind of where I want to be. Like, this is Rocky now, then this is where Rocky wants to be, blah blah blah, and I'll dream, or I'll create this trailer in my head of where I want to be in life, and I will make sure I get there. And I don't think people do that enough. I think that if you could dream something, if you could see something in your mind and you can visualize it, you can definitely capture it. It's real. It's real life, bro. Right. You know, like if you say you want to be this, you'll be this. 3 years ago, I said I want to be known for lettering, and I want to do fucking wrists. I want to do wrists to elbows. And now, God damn it, I do like wrists to elbows all the time. And I said that in the beginning of my career, that I want to be known for this and I want to do this, and I made it happen, you know, like, you know, shit like that, you know. I think that you can do that stuff. You just have to figure out how to tap into that mindset of being a dreamer, you know.
For sure.
You know, I think we all should dream more. There's nothing wrong with that, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Sky's the limit, shit.
Shit, that's what I'm saying.
And even then, you go to the moon, shit.
We go to Jupiter, motherfucker. Anything else, you guys? I don't know if.
Tell me why I'm trying to read people's comments from all the way over here.
Alexis is in here. Alexis. Coco Pelli, Alexis. Shout out Alexis. My boy. We got my boy. Got my boy in here. Rich Rose is in here. Be a dreamer, Alexis. That's what he said. Yeah.
You just opened your studio, right? Mm-hmm. How does it feel opening your own studio?
Feels good. Yeah, it feels good. I feel like not fully accomplished, but another step towards being accomplished, you know. And it feels good, man. You know, I mean, there's definitely like a lot of like the pros and cons that come with it, you know, like having your own space and your own everything, your own bills for your workplace, you know, your upkeep, all that stuff, like, you know. But I love it, honestly, bro. Like, it's cool. I mean, definitely just growing and growing, you know, and you know, more just trying to just seek better and better, you know, and just travel more and, you know, network more and just meeting more people and just constantly growing. I just feel like growing and growing is just, you know, what I want to continue to do. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Alexa says she is a dreamer, by the way. Nice. Anything else? We're good? Or you guys take the opportunity if anybody has any questions.
3 hours in.
Damn, really? Yeah.
That's about to start freestyling right now. Like, hey, no more questions about to rap right now.
About to drop this fucking hot ass mixtape, bitch. Nah, you know, I think that's cool though. Like, this is obviously could we upload something that long on YouTube?
Holy shit.
That's cool. That's cool though. But I mean, it's just all organic, you know. I feel like we could keep talking for a long time, guys. But I mean, I think we hit on a lot of good stuff. I mean, I don't think of anything else we need to really hit on. I hit on about my first guest spot was at MVL, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That's a spot. So MVL, Mi Vida Letras, was the place he's talking about with him and Paul Rax. When I first started tattooing, that was my first guest spot. That was pretty cool. That was a monumental moment in my career too.
Yeah.
Like. First guest spot at MVL where I wanted to go get tattooed next to Beez and Paul Rax. Like
Different state,
that
too.
was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep.
First what?
Different state too, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was cool, man. That was a really, really dope ass moment for me. I'm trying to think of anything else that I wanted to talk about as far as like where do you see the lettering growing to in the next few years? I need to start pulling up the dreamers. Damn, Alexa says she wants to start pulling up with the dreamers at the gallery. Angel's in this bitch. Angel's tattoo. Remember I told you about Angel? He just hopped in right now. That's dope as fuck.
Shout out Angel.
That's that motherfucker right there, bro.
Yeah.
I told you. That boy, man, that motherfucker motivates me. That's an inspiration. I don't know anybody on this podcast, if you don't follow Angel's Tattoo, Chicago.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, bro. God damn.
For real.
Yeah,
big time influence.
Big influence for sure, man. Like he's somebody that's like influenced me so much. Like, and he's super fucking humble too. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Thanks, Angel. Appreciate you, dog. Yeah, he's like, bro, I told you that. So at the convention, I had tattooed Lopez on the arm, and I wanted to enter it into the lettering contest. And I could never make those fucking time frames. They have ridiculous time frames because I freehand, so I can never make it before the time, before the entry or whatever, the time closes. And I was like, fuck, man, whatever. I guess I'll miss another contest. And Angel this is last year in Chicago because he's based in Chicago. Angel walked over to our booth. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, where's my client? I was like, hey, fool, come here. And I was like, what up, Angel? Like, hey, dog, real quick, man, I just want to know, can you, I just did this tattoo. Can you check it out for me? He goes, yeah. And I showed him the tattoo, and he looked at it. He was like, I got nothing for you, Rock. Like, that shit's dope as fuck. He was like, whatever you're doing, just keep doing. Bro, I could have cried. I could have did all kinds of shit. But I was like, damn, like, because if you don't know if you see Angel's work, you know why that was so significant, right? Like, he makes things look like so effortless. It's ridiculous. Like, his composition work is crazy. But when he was like, Rocky, it looks dope. Like, there's nothing you need to do to it. That meant more to me than a fucking award. You know what I mean? Like, fuck the award.
Bro,
I don't need the award. If I got Angel to tell me that shit looks dope, fuck the award. Fuck all these people. That food told me it looks dope. Done. That's it. I don't need nothing else. You know, so to have him pull up, and that's pretty dope. But yeah, he's based in Chicago. You know, yeah, he gets down, bro. That motherfucker. Bro, that'd be fucking.
That'd be sick for
That'd be hard as fuck.
For real.
Yeah, that'd be hard. Yeah, I was talking about that actually too, but I want to, we should do that, like travel and like, well, when I travel, like, that'd be dope. Fool, like do like vlogs too, like say DRYWIPECHRONICLES like everywhere with us, I mean, I know you have like your own life and shit. For your wife's gonna be like, man, fuck this guy. Just join me with the hardest part yet to come over. But yeah, man, I feel like almost 3 hours. That's what's up. But that's cool though. We can upload that long on YouTube. That's cool.
For real, that's sick.
I don't think anything else. I mean, I think we touched on everything pretty much that I guess we wanted to. I'm sure when we stop this podcast, there'll be things I'm like, oh, fuck, we should talk about this. But I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I think we're good. Alfonso's ready to go home, guys.
I'm going to get tattooed tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. We're tattooing his back tomorrow. Oh,
rest, dog.
shit. Yeah, he needs some rest. All right, well, I guess we'll call it right there then. That's cool with me. All right, well, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody on Instagram. So, for example... Well, not for example. What the fuck, stupid. You guys can tune in on Instagram. We go live on Instagram. It's 1:42 in the morning. There's people in here right now, which is pretty dope. It's 15 people, which is dope as fuck. It's 2 a.m. So,
Hell yeah.
but yeah, we appreciate you guys for hopping in the podcast. Obviously, everybody on Instagram, but for those who are watching, man, I just want to, express my gratitude clearly. Like I mentioned before, the podcast was kind of just this thing where Alfonso stumbled on to, like he just threw it on me kind of, and I'm glad he did. Hopefully it does what it's supposed to, which is inspire people, motivate people, but also show them that you can accomplish your dreams. And if you put your mind to anything, you can accomplish that. And that goes with saying, with what I've been through, with Angelo's been through, and now with what Beez has shared with you guys. And you guys can accomplish whatever you put your mind to, man. And I can't stress that enough. I want to talk about that because, don't let somebody tell you that you can't do something because of your age or because of your limitation. The only limitations are the ones you give yourself, right? There's no such thing as a threshold. There's no such thing as a ceiling. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do as long as you truly and deeply believe in yourself, man. So, with that being said, that's what the podcast is about, guys. And I hope you guys found some substance today. Shout out to my homie Beez,
yeah,
you know what I mean,
you,
for being on board.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing more podcasts. Obviously, we'll have more guest artists. And I will be shooting another podcast soon, just me solo. I still want to talk about my Sacramento experience, so we'll be doing that soon. But once again, I appreciate you guys, man, for tuning in on this episode. It was a very, very long, lengthy episode, but it was only right because it's with my dog, Beez. So appreciate you, man.
Of course, dog.
You know what I mean? You already know. You want to say anything to them? Oh, give them your Instagram and everything before we take off.
Well, yeah, it's tattoo_Beez, and then also Letter Realm Studio.
Hell
find
yeah.
Me on IG. Find me everywhere.
Everywhere, bitch.
Yeah, Mesa, Arizona. Mesa, AZ.
And then you can follow me, Rocky G Inks, ROCKYG_Inks. Follow the podcast on Instagram, DRYWIPECHRONICLES.
Yo.
And follow BLAZTED.NETWORK on Instagram, but also YouTube. Subscribe. So you guys go on YouTube, BLAZTED Network on YouTube, subscribe. Hit that. What do they say on YouTube? Subscribe. Hit that like button. Comment below. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that shit. Yeah. Do all that.
Do that shit.
Yeah, do that shit. I don't know. Subscribe. They fucking do subscribe.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck they do on YouTube, But fuck all that. Yeah, subscribe on YouTube. BLAZTED Network on YouTube. DRYWIPE Chronicles podcast, bitch. Thanks for tuning in, motherfuckers. Peace.
Peace. Yeah.